Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get started in a moment. You can see us, but you can't hear us. So we're getting ready to get started. We're doing what we're supposed to do when we're doing what we're supposed to do when we start the live, and that is share, share, share. So do your part and make sure that everyone knows what's going on. Um, so we're gonna get started in just a moment. We are in Grand Bahama, so just give me a moment to continue to share. And you do the same. Use your ad highlights, your ad followers, etc. Make sure everyone knows there. Tag some people. Tag some people. So let's get this message out. All right, I've done my part. I hope you have done yours. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, we are live in Grand Bahama. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be in Grand Bahama. This is my new home. I love this place, and so I think you're allowed to have two homes. So this is one of my homes. I love it. My favorite place on earth. So yeah, man, and all the women could cook apparently. Yeah, so everyone could cook. It's the home of the pickled conch salad, and yeah, you can bring it. They're bringing me food right now. So we're gonna have a casual, not a formal one today. Thank you so much. All right. So all I need with this is a Coke Zero. So we're gonna have a casual one today. We're here hanging out on the balcony on the beach and enjoying ourselves. And so we got a lot to talk about today. So let's get started. Continue to share and do your part while we're doing this. But I'm gonna start this off, and then I'm gonna be joined by some folks, and then we're gonna continue this conversation. All right. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, um, I have to make a special announcement, and so I hope that you can appreciate what I'm about to announce to you. But it is very important to us, and I hope it's important to you. But we know what holiday is coming up very shortly, um, and that's a holiday that has been around for a very long time. It's a holiday that is very respected by the community, and there's a great reason for this holiday. And the reason for this holiday is to respect the Bahamian people. The mission of the Progressive Liberal Party was to remove Bahamians from being slaves to being laborers and servants and workers. And so their mission was to allow Bahamians to become actual workers. There were a lot of people who were not in position, not educated, et cetera, et cetera. And so they wanted to make sure that Bahamians could become the laborers. There were a lot of jobs that Bahamians couldn't have, like on banks and on Bay Street, and there's a lot of things that Bahamians couldn't do. And they had a policy called Bahamianization. And so that policy was to bring in foreigners to come here and work, to train Bahamians, and then to move away and allow the Bahamians to be the workers. That was a noble mission at the time, and it was very needed. But I can tell you, you're gonna have some phone ringers around me. That's because everyone is here hanging out. So just ignore that. This is a formal thing today. So, uh, but it didn't work out because the foreigners never left. Um, and it bred a culture of only foreigners know what they're doing, and only them should have the good positions, while we're actually the laborers. But we needed some persons to look out for the laborers who were not being treated the way they should. I'm sorry, I should have checked this to make sure that you're getting good sound, but I'm sure you would have told me by now. Yeah, oh, it's in my earbuds. Okay, yes, we are. Okay, we're getting good sound. All right, and so we needed some persons to look out for the laborers. And one champion of that movement was a man called Sir Randall Fox. He's a role model of mine. And he's someone I looked up to and I studied very deeply and read books on him and read as much as I could on Sir Randall Fox. He and Milo Butler, I paid a lot of attention to. Milo Butler was a businessman, but he was an activist. And I modeled myself after him, being a businessman and an activist. And Sir Randall Fox was a very brave man. And so he would be out there fighting for the laborers in his country. And he championed that. And he actually was responsible for majority rule, not the PLP, Sir Randall Fox, because he could have decided to go with the UBP, and the PLP would not have won on majority rule day. And so he was the man who gave us majority rule, nobody else. And so in later years, they decided to honor him by naming this Labor Day parade after him, and that's because of his fight. Now, Labor Day parade always was a show of force and support for the labor movement, which means the movement of Bahamian people. And so there was never a problem with any political party or any organization joining in that parade to show that they support the Labor Day parade. And so the purpose of political parties and other organizations, any organization, to join the parade and for the different labor unions to join the labor parade was to show that they support the labor movement, the labor to give rights to Bahamians. In the beginning, there were no rights for Bahamians. Randall Fox and others fought for us to get some rights that we take advantage of today, that we just feel is just human rights. No, they had to fight and suffer and sacrifice for this. Randall Fox had to be jailed. Yes, jailed. These politicians, they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to stand up for nothing. They don't want to fight for nothing. Randall Fox was willing to be jailed for what he believes in. He was also expelled from this country. He had to literally exile, I should have said, himself in America for a period because he was not welcome in his country because he was strong and standing up, speaking sternly to them. People say, Lincoln Bain sometimes is rowdy. I don't think they know their history. I don't think they know the way Randall Fox talked to those people, the way Milo Butler talked to them, and even Pinland and those. I don't think they know their history. Lincoln Bain is very calm as it relates to those people, very professional as it relates to how they carried on. Randall Fox was charged with sedition for some of the things that he said to the leaders of the day. They charged him with sedition, believe it or not. But you're never going to get change by being soft and not standing up. Sometimes you got to break some eggs to make an omelet, and we need change now. But in any event, so everyone joined the march to show that we support the laborers in this country, and that was a noble thing. The political parties never made it about themselves. They never made it about them. So a political party coming and joining the march and wearing their colors, etc., all it was saying that we of this political party supports the movement. It's never a problem. We also did that. All right. We also, the COI, since we formed, we've been joining the Labor Day parade in our COI shirts to let them know that this is about us supporting the labor movement and the unions. But this time, something different happened. And I'm about to make an announcement. This time, the Progressive Liberal Party decided to desecrate the sanctity and honor of the Labor Day parade. They decided to use it as a political tool and as their political platform to launch their political campaign. This is sacrilegious. This is out of order, and this is disgraceful. The Labor Day parade is about the laborers in this country that we still are, and we will be until the COI decides the COI takes government. and makes all Bahamians owners instead of only laborers. We are the laborers in this country. And on a day that should honor us, they decided that they're going to take that day and make it political. Because they have decided to do that, it has offended some unions. And there are some unions who say, well, we don't care. We're just going to do what we have to do. But I can say for the COI that on this Labor Day, 2025, the Randall Fox Labor Day 2025, we are going to boycott this Labor Day parade. We will not participate in this Labor Day parade because the PLP has taken this and tried to make it their parade. They have disrespected the labor movement of the people. I think that Sir Lyndon Pidlin, who fought for the respect of the laborers in his country, would be rolling over in his grave. The PLP of yesterday does not exist today. Pidlin's PLP is gone. And you can see it by the fact that they would disrespect. They could have their own Labor Day anytime they want. They could have their own, parade anytime they want. They do not have to take over the Labor Day parade and use it as their political launch pad, culminating with a rally for themselves. That is disgraceful. And I'm going to speak out against that because none of our founding fathers would have approved of that. Our founding fathers would have appreciated them joining in the parade and making it about labor and saying that we are the political party and we support the movement. That's what it should have been about. But they're saying that the war begins. It's a war, begins on Labor Day. And so we feel that that is wrong, that is disrespectful. And while we initially prepared to join this parade and we wanted to ignore it, they further went on to say that this is Brave Davis's birthday and they're going to be celebrating his birthday on this day as a part of these Labor Day celebrations. And that was further disrespectful to the laborers in this nation and to the movement. If you want to have a birthday party for Philip Brave Davis, I can show you where he lives. Go there and have it. Or go to PLP headquarters and have it. But to turn this into a PLP event is disgraceful and it dishonors this entire thing. While I won't tell other unions what to do, I will say that the COI supports the labor movement in this country. We support every union. We will fight for and with every union in this country. And we will continue to support and fight with every union in this country. I implore the leaders of these unions and the union members to boycott the PLP and their parade this year. Do not participate with them. Do not let them use your platform as a platform for their political gain. It is wrong and it should not happen. We must stand up against this. And so it was a tough decision for us. And like I said, we were already making preparations. We have already paid for our trucks and our banners and everything else. We were ready to go. But I think that I'm going to do what I feel Sir Randall Fox would have done, and he would have made a principled stand. Sir Randall Fox is a man of principle, and he would have made a principled stand. And so there are there's a labor umbrella that says we won't participate for the same reasons that I'm saying to you. But there are also some unions that said we're coming out because that's our day. I say pull the platform from under them or ban them from using it because they've already announced that as their political tool. Because now you are participating with them, you are aiding and abetting them in their wrongdoing. Simply ban the PLP from your parade. Let them go and have their own parade. They control the streets. They control the days. They can form a holiday if they want. They can announce and declare a holiday and say this day is a holiday and this is the day the PLP are launching our political campaign. They can do that. Don't let them use us to do that. Now, why is the PLP doing this? It's the old political trick. People heard, all right, especially our people. We herd. We're mammals, and so we like to herd, and so we want to go where we feel other people are, and we want to do what we feel other people are doing. And so how the politicians deceive you is that they try to have big events, attract a lot of people, and hoping that that will cause people to say that this party is going to win. I just want to be with this party and support them. That's the old trick, to have something big, attract a lot of people, and sway other voters by that. But I don't think the old tricks are going to work. And so they realize now that they are desperate, they're in serious trouble, and so they have to do something to show, to intimidate the Bahamian people, or to make the Bahamian people feel, you know what, this government will win again. So let's just continue to support them, or let's start to support them. And so that's the purpose of having these events and trying to bring people out. What the PLP is doing is they are doing anything to get people to come on this parade, whether it's spending a lot of money to do so, whether it's I was told by some PLPs recently that they lured them to a meeting, thinking that this meeting was going to be about getting housing and rent to own, etc. And when they got to the meeting, they said at the meeting, "Oh, this is about registering for the parade." Registering for parade? Who registers for parade? Don't you just come to the parade? Registering for the parade. So it gave them the feeling like if they don't participate or register for this parade, they can't qualify to get housing. That's how they said they feel. It disgusted them, and these are strong PLPs who called and said that was the straw that broke the camel's back for them. And so they said that their party is doing everything to bring everyone out to this parade, to have this big motorcade, and to encourage people that the PLP is going to win because they have all this support. And so people are being promised everything in the world to come on this parade. And I think that that is wrong. Trying to buy votes, etc., is wrong. I think that what they're doing is wrong, and we're not going to support that. And so we're not going to participate in their party. That's them having an event to me. That's the PLP having an event. That's the PLP's Labor Day event. So I'm not coming to their party. I'm not coming to their event, just like they won't come to us. So I'm not going to be a part of what they say is the launching of the PLP's campaign for the next general election. It's wrong. It's diabolical, and we cannot stand for it. And so we have decided to take a principled stance and to say no to this. The FNM also finds themselves in a situation where they realize that they are doing poorly at the polls. They're not garnering much support, and that they are in desperate need of a boost. And so they decided that this year at their FNM fair, Red Splash Fair, that they would try to get as many people out as possible, as many out as possible. Um, and so what they did was they offered people $10,000. Someone is going to win $10,000. That's what the FNM offered to get people to come to their little shindig, their what do you call it? Their fair, $10,000, and nobody showed up. All right, so it was them and their executives, the little branch executives, and a couple of their family, and that was it. And so it didn't work. The Bahamian people, I think, are tired. The Bahamian people want something new and different. We are tired of being the servants and the slaves. We want to be. Let me make this clear. There are some people out there, saying that Lincoln Bain is a champion, he's a fighter, he's fighting for equality in this country, equality for Bahamians. Let me tell you something, you are wrong. You are dead wrong. I am not fighting for equality in this Bahamas. I am fighting to put Bahamians first. Pinland and those who is fighting for equality, we have evolved. We are fighting to be first in this country. So just want to make that clear. And so the FNM had their little thing where they offered everything in the world and people didn't show up. And I think that people are ready for something different. All right. And so I just wanted to make that announcement To all of our supporters, do not support unless the PLP comes out and apologize and say, "Oh, okay, we sorry, and we're not gonna do it." But I think it's too late because they've already invited their people out and made the announcement that they're using this platform to start their political war. If someone is coming to war against me and using a platform to do it, I'm not gonna help them.
No, no, no,
I'm not gonna help them. No union should help them
no.
to create political war on their platform. But I know one thing: we are not going to participate in the PLP's platform. And so, to all of our followers, do not participate in that. Don't even go out to watch it. Don't participate in that in any way. It is disgraceful. I don't know who is advising the Progressive Liberal Party, but their recent moves are totally disgraceful. And so, we're going to continue to do what we have to do. And we have some announcements to make to you all in short order. I can't make it yet, but by next live, we're going to make some major announcements to you, the Bahamian people. So just be prepared for that. All right. Um, so, ladies and gentlemen, uh, we will not be joining the PLP's Labor Day Parade because that's what it is. The PLP's Labor Day Parade. They said it is the start of their war and they are using it as their weapon. We're not going to help them. We're not going to help them. And so we will withdraw ourselves just to the Labor Day, to the laborers in this country, to all of the unions. We love you. We're the ones out there fighting for you. The prime minister of the country went to a church, Revolution Church today, and he did a little speech. And he said all kind of flowery things at this with this speech. I won't even play it again because I want to let him on my platform. He gave a flowery speech about how he loves labor and he's always supported labor. That sounds like what he said in the Haitian village.
Yeah.
He loved them and he always supported them. And what did he say? He's one of them and they's one of him. And so he tried to convince the union people that he's one of them. He said, but he couldn't say it. So he said that his mother was a part of a union and his daddy was a part of a union. All right. So I don't know which mother that was brave, the first one or the second one, but I'll leave that right there. Um, but in any event, uh, your mother and father being a part of the union is nothing to do with you. Why do I say that? Because I've never seen you fighting for the union.
Never.
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 So don't come now and make it seem like the union is so important to you. You've been in parliament all of my life.
All of it.
My whole life, you were a politician. I've never seen you out there fighting for the unions. I didn't see you giving them no free representation because you're a lawyer. I didn't see you doing anything for them. So even during this term, I saw you because you wanted to get votes, sign MOUs with them before election. But I said to the leaders, the union leaders I talked to, don't be bamboozled because signing an agreement is not the same as getting what you signed for. An MOU is not an agreement, so that's even worse. But every election, unions are fighting whoever is in government to get what is theirs. Every election, whether it's PLP or FNM, after the election, they are fighting, they are protesting, they're threatening threatening to shut the country down. And every time they get disappointed, oh, y'all didn't do what we supposed to. We can vote y'all out. Y'all are voting for the same people. The PLP and FNM is one. And at some point, the unions got to wake up and realize that. Yeah, this one gonna say, yeah, that party bad. Don't vote for them. Vote for us this time. Then when they get in, they do the same thing or worse. Then the other party comes and say, yeah, that party bad. Put us back in so we could not do it for you all again. And then the union say, you know what? Yeah, let's put them back in so they could not do what they promised again. Why are unions having to fight every administration? I am promising the unions a champion who's going to fight for you. Y'all are going to think the government is the union. The government is going to be the union of the unions. We are going to fight for the unions and fight for the people. because Bahamians are going to be put first. You won't have to fight for a little raise here and there.
Nope.
You won't have to fight for your overtime. How could, and we get into talking about the budget in a minute, how could you brag about a $75 million surplus and you owe all the civil servants?
Every single one. That's my damn thing.
How you go back?
Oh, everybody.
Have you ever,
Every single one.
hey, y'all ever see someone who owe you money and you see them out to the club partying
Big money,
with brand new, they buying drinks for everyone.
Yeah, and they owe you.
They sending pictures on vacation.
Wow.
And they just borrow you. They say, man, I promise you, man, I can pay you, but give me 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
I can pay you back, man.
Yes.
2 weeks comes, story.
You just been balling.
I mean, they will travel around the world and ball and live their best life.
Yep.
And then when time for the union to come and say, we are overtime. Mm-hmm. For the reservists to say, we are pay. Story. Yeah, we broke. Yeah, we waiting on someone to sign the check. No, man.
And I be striking. Threatening strike.
Listen.
Customs, everybody striking.
Now, even God gives you a choice, you know. Yes. There's some people who say, oh, this one can be government, that one can be government. God can make this happen, he can make that happen. God lets his people choose.
That's correct.
You know why?
That is correct.
Because when you choose, you have to suffer the consequences.
That is correct.
Yeah. Some people just pray for God to don't let them sin. Oh, God, stop me from doing this. Because if God is responsible for your actions, he can't judge you in the end. It's him who didn't do it. So, if you vote for these same people who have been making you suffer, you have to suffer the consequences.
Yep.
When the children of Israel sent their prophet to Samuel to God to say that they want a king, God said, I don't want y'all to have a king. They said, oh, everybody else, all other countries have a king, man. We want a king. God says, no, I got a king coming for y'all. This ain't y'all king. Y'all don't do this. They said, listen, man, we want what we want. So we say, okay. As always, I can give you what you want, but this, they go take everything from you. They go own your land. They go own your children. They go own all your cattle. They go rule over you all and treat you all bad.
Yep.
This your consequences, but I can give you what you want. And so you can go and vote and say, God, we want the BLB. Oh, God, we want the F&M.
Yep.
But guess what? You can suffer the consequences because you know what will happen if you put the F&M in.
They know.
You know. I saw a little flyer they putting around with Pintard saying they're fighting for what? They're fighting for you, not for the few. Jesus.
Yeah.
I want to know who the printing company is who print that foolishness.
Trying to rhyme. Ain't making no sense.
That is libelous. That is slander. That is disgraceful. That is foul language
for you,
to say that the F&M will fight for the people of this country.
Wow.
And not for the oligarchs, meaning the few. The F&M is the oligarchs. Yep. How does Pintard think that people will read that and not realize that this is garbage? That all they do is fight for the rich when they get in. What Minister say last time? Next time for you.
Next time for the poor.
Next time for the poor.
Yeah, next time for the poor.
When he was coming in, it was all about the poor.
Yep.
And guess what? There's some people falling for that rhetoric.
Wow.
No, but we are going to right these wrongs. All right. We got to fix this. We are the only ones standing up and fighting for the Bahamian people. We are the only ones standing up for them. The PLP is not fighting for you. The F&M is not fighting for you. We are standing up and we're going to defend this nation. And we're going to do that by any means necessary. We are serious about not letting this country go to the dogs. We are serious that this land is our land and we're taking this back. All right? And so, for those of you just tuning in, the COI has decided, and we're going to put a press statement out there, the COI has decided to boycott this year's Sir Randall Fox Labor Day Parade because Sir Randall Fox has been removed from this, and it's now the PLP's political launch Labor Day Parade.
What it is.
They're bringing two bus full of people from each constituency
Yep.
and et cetera, et cetera. They say they want 8,000 people out. They're willing to pay anything to make that happen. And they are using this also to celebrate Brave Davis' birthday. One thing these fellas could do is party.
They can party.
Boy, they can ball.
They got money for that.
They can party.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I'm paying the civil service for government.
Yeah. They don't want to pay them. They ain't got no love for them.
No, but see, the reason, and I don't blame them no more, because as long as we keep voting PLP and F&M, you got to take it, suffer.
Exactly.
You vote for that.
Take it. Take it.
All right?
Take
And
it,
so,
beat me.
and so for the TUC that supported the PLP and openly supported them,
Take it, Lex.
you take it. Now you have another chance coming up to vote for change.
Take it, Lex, man. Take it, Lex.
But whatever Brave is doing to you, you wanted that. Because there was never a time that they actually looked out for you. How do you think that they were going to look out for you now? Wow. You always had to fight them. You always had to have protests. Always had to threaten protests.
Yep.
Demonstrations. Come on. Under the PLP and F&M.
Hold it up.
So, take it. All right?
Take it and smile.
Don't cry. Don't flinch.
No.
You get in the cut. And you take your licks. All right? Until the next time when you can make the right choice. And so any union that supports the PLP or F&M that has proven to them that they will do nothing for them. And sometimes they give you a little raise here.
Yeah.
All right? They promising, we give the teachers
Throw a
some
little
raise.
bone,
We can promise this little raise here and raise there. And then guess what? You never have it. We should not be living off crumbs. Our nurses should be well paid and will be well paid under the
I
COI.
am telling you. I am telling you.
Because the money
I applaud
that you spend, that the government spends to bring in the foreign nurses, house them and everything else they do for them, give them all kind of money, they could just pay us one time.
Yep. I applaud that.
Pay our Bahamian nurses.
One time.
What are you doing?
Healthcare is so important.
You're bringing in foreign doctors? Pay our doctors.
Pay them. Pay them.
They come back home.
Our people are leaving because they're not being paid properly and the cost of living is killing them.
Woo, there you go.
Why should a nurse stay here when they could go right over there and make probably six figures? They can make with the MP over here making. Why should they? But we could fix that. We could right that wrong.
Yep.
They have the money to do it, you know.
Yep. They can do it. What you mean?
There's foreign investors who have come here and in dealing with politicians, the foreign investors said, I won't pay people $25 an hour, $30 an hour,
Talk it.
etc.
Talk
And you
it.
know what? You know what the politicians say?
Talk
No
it.
boy,
No boy.
don't get in that.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
No.
Be got to match that. Boy, that's true.
And so it's them that block us.
From day one. The Boyma Road right.
Before I get to the budget, this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. How does it work? Their job is to keep you poor so that when they come with the little $50 and the little fridge or whatever, you feel like they did the world for you.
Yeah.
When they come and
strategy.
pay for your son one semester in college, you feel they did the world for you. Your son feel like he owed them.
The strategy.
We should have, while other countries getting free education up to tertiary level. They are keeping you suffering
That's a strategic move.
so that they can rule you. They keep you uninformed and uneducated so they could rule you. You still have people asking uneducated questions like, how can you distribute money from the sovereign fund to every Bahamian? How you could do it?
Ow.
I watched the I watched during the lockdowns. United States of America has 330 million people, and they were able to distribute money to everybody. Everyone. $2,000 a time. Everyone.
2,800.
How do you get your NIB payments? It goes to your bank account, right? So what's the question of how we're going to do that? Canada issued to every single Canadian money. Turks and Caicos is issuing money to their people.
That's it right
Jamaica
there.
is now going to be issuing money to their people. Guyana is issuing money to their people. So only us don't deserve nothing.
That's
Only the
right.
politicians deserve something.
Only the politician.
Don't give it to the people.
No. And you got people gonna be red, yellow, shaking red, and I don't understand these people, man. I don't understand my people.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be at that parade. We will not assist the PLP in destroying this nation. All right, we will not be participating in that. All right, so that's just it. If anyway, I'll leave that there.
Yeah.
So, um, so ladies and gentlemen, we got some announcement coming up for you all next week. So just stay tuned. All right. So the COI is going to continue to do this and do this on a major level that you can all be proud of. All right. So now to well, I wanted to give an update before I talk about that erroneous budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And so we have a good talk with our budget. We have to laugh at that, man. That's I can't believe that they have to think Bahamians are the dumbest people in history
Yeah.
for what they put forward in that budget. And that's an election budget.
They think you stupid.
Jesus. Anyway,
You the conk on the shell.
um, of course, you saw that last week sometime I had to go and fight for another Bahamian lady. Miss Curry, we fought for, and we fought for many other people. All of them don't make social media. Not even 1% of what we do make social media. So there's some people who think that everything we do makes social media. No, it doesn't. All right. Sometimes there's things we doing is just resolve and we just deal with it. Everything we do doesn't make social media, although a lot of stuff does go on social media. But no, we had to fight for Miss Curry. We had to be willing to be arrested for Miss Curry, dragged away from there by police because Haitians had gone and taken over her land and kicked her off the land and threatened her, broke down her house and destroyed her crops and told her what would happen if she come back there. And so we had to go there and fight for her. So she now has her land back. All right.
Hey.
And so she got it back. She got it back last year sometime, and so but we didn't make any announcement. Like I said, everything we don't put on social media. But she got her land back. But we had to go there and fight for that lady. And I want to thank everyone, all the members of COI and everyone else who came out there with us to stand up. And of course, you would have seen that again. We had to go and fight for another Bahamian
Last week.
elderly lady who had a similar fate. She did leave a contractor in charge. His name is Toons. They say he's a former drug dealer, allegedly. Toons was supposed to be a contractor, and he let someone he knows, a Haitian lady, live in a part of this house that he was building for her. But it seems like her or someone visiting her or someone else notified them that, hey, this woman is always away. This house is empty. You all come. But the fact is, it was more than that. This house was also being used to house illegal immigrants who were getting papers from officials illegally. They were selling papers to these illegal immigrants, and they was using this as a place to house them in the meantime.
Yep.
All right. And so the lady came back and met her house being used for this. All right. And so she protested. She never received any rent from any of these persons. And so you would have seen what happened. I'm sure it went viral. I think last time I checked, I don't know what it is now, but more probably 340,000 people watched that. We only got 200,000 Bahamians, so that means a lot of people had interest in that. And so I've never seen a video that went viral like that. And so she was very grateful. Miss Rachel was very grateful for the people who supported her and gave her sentiments. That was a nightmare for her. There are some people that do wrong. They rent to these illegal immigrants, etc. But that was not her. And on the live, you saw the person say that they didn't rent from her. They don't know her. They never saw her. And so that was not her. She was just trying to have a place to stay, to live in. And it was being built. But Um, she, of course, having a heart, said that she's going to give them until June 2nd. June 2nd is tomorrow. And so this is for those people who are in that house. Now, a lot of them left that same day. I didn't, the live ended, so I didn't get to update you, but some of them left that same day. And some stayed because they was told June 2nd. Now, when I go back there on June 2nd, um, make sure that everyone is gone, please. All right? Make sure everyone is gone. Um, there's some people who said that, man, if you keep doing this, the Haitians are not going to vote for you. There are a lot of Haitian Bahamians, et cetera, et cetera. Let me make you understand this. I was not defending that Bahamian woman for votes. I'm not doing that for votes. Yes, you're right. It is not politically expedient to do what I'm doing, to fight for the Bahamian people. I realize that, but someone has to do it. So if they choose to not vote for me because I'm standing up for what is right, then so be it. I will take the loss to stand up for that one woman who went to everybody and no one would help her. She went to the police, she went to Philip Brave Davis, she went to Keith Bell, she went to all kind of people, just like Miss Curry. Miss Curry went to everybody to try to get help. And no one would help her. And we had to step in and help that lady. And so if there's a lady who needed help and was not helped, we had to stand up. If that's going to cause me to lose an election, then so be it. Then so be it. Um, Years ago, I fought for the people in Pinewood Gardens and Seabreeze when our homes, which is owned by the FNM and the PLP, was breaking down their homes, in my opinion, unlawfully. We went and fought. We stood up for them. Um, as a result, I was I was off of the radio. Um, as a result, I believe that my business was burned down. There's some people who say, "Oh, you had a failed business." I want you to go stand up for anything in this country. Go stand up against these politicians. Stand up against these big businesses, and then go run a business in this country and see what happens to you. I sacrifice myself, my life, and my earnings to stand up for people who don't have anyone else to stand up for them. And when you do that, they attack your business, they attack your livelihood. You know that. That's why most Bahamians don't stand up because they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be victimized. I'm willing to be victimized to stand up for the common man in this country. And so, yes, I've lost businesses. I've had businesses attacked. I had one business that when I opened it, the same shoe saw it burn down. The day that the first monthly rent was due, someone from BEC was sent there to turn me off. They didn't know who owned it, but they was told to go turn the power off at that. The day it was due, the bill came out that day. And the BEC fella came there to turn it off. So he came inside first. And when he saw it was me, he said, "No, man, I'm a fan of yours, man. I know." He said, "Man, they sent me here to turn this off." But he said, "Yeah, this is just 1 month bill." He said, "Let's do today. Look, it do today." And they tell me turn you off. He said, "Man, give me a check, man. Just give me the check for the bill, and I could tell them you pay it." Because back then they would still take checks from you. Right? I don't think they do that no more. They'll send you to go pay it. So he said, "Just give me a check. I can carry it in, and I can make sure you straight. I can turn you off." But he said, "Look at all these other companies," and he showed me some white knight companies. He showed me some other companies right around there, And he said, "Look at how much they owe." He said, "Look at these bills." But they sent me to turn you off for my seat. It was less than $1,000.
Wow. Wow.
For hundreds of dollars. The first month, the first bill. So yes, I've done business. I've been victimized, but it happened to me because I signed up for the people. But guess what? Every time they victimize a business that I'm doing, God blesses me even more. And they try to figure out, well, how didn't we just destroy that? How we get this now? How we get this? What do you get? No, man. How we? And he my cup runneth over in the presence of my enemy. And God lets them see. I know that because I am fighting for the people, I'm going to be victimized. But they can't stop me. I have learned to do business in secret now, to 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 for self-preservation. But there's nothing they can do. When you are doing right, you just do right and you stand up for what is right. And that's what I do. All right. And so I just want you to understand that. So they're gonna continue with their nonsense, but we're gonna continue to stand up for the Bahamian people. So my update is uh uh Ms. Rachel's house, she's gonna have a house back. All right. And we ain't playing with that. And if persons don't want to vote for me because I'm standing up for Bahamians, at no point did we disrespect those Haitian persons there.
At no time.
We were we were very
Yes.
respectful to
Yes,
them.
yes.
In fact, if Miss Rachel said something that was out of order, I corrected her and
Right
tell her
away.
to don't do it.
Right away.
All right.
Not on my life.
I spoke very respectfully to those persons.
Yep.
All right. In the situation. Now, when Miss Rachel had come before I went there, they cuss her out, they row her, they did all kind of
They
stuff.
threatened her with a beat up.
Despite all of the things they did to her, I still treated them with respect. To the fella when Miss Rachel alleged that he was a drug dealer, the fella next door who built on her property, I also treated him with respect.
Yes.
Now I asked him the question,
Yes.
are you a drug dealer? I asked him.
Mhm.
All right. And I have a right to do that. All right. So, but I still treated him with respect. And when I left, I shook his hand.
Yeah.
I didn't talk bad to any of them.
Nope.
But see, their problem is they don't want you challenging them at all. No. They don't want you to do what's right in your country. They want it to be anarchy, like the way it is in that other country.
Right.
But there will be no anarchy on my watch. We are not against illegal. We are not against immigrants. We are against illegal immigrants. And that is for the good of this country, and that is the good of the immigrants. You should not have to go to a country and not be able to have a bank account, to have a driver's license, to work on the record, to be paid properly. You should not have to live in a shanty town. Our policies will benefit the immigrants also, no matter where they are from. When I was a police officer, I saw Haitian women, illegal immigrants, who were abused, even sometimes raped. And they were afraid to go and make a complaint because they were illegal. There were men who would come home from work on Saturday, Haitian men, and they would get robbed. There were persons targeting them, waiting to rob them because they can't go and make a complaint. Why should someone live like that? Yes, we will have immigrants, but there will not be one illegal immigrant in this country. Not one. We're going to defend this nation, and it's going to benefit all of us. Okay? And so, for persons who say we're against Asians, the Asians won't vote for us, listen, what the PLP and FNM want is to make money off of these immigrants. The FNM wants anarchy because Fred Smith is controlling that. Fred Smith, remember, he was the person, thank you, man. He was the person who was fighting so that the immigrants couldn't be deported. He was fighting so the shanty downs couldn't be broken down. He funded the FNM. He funded the PLP. So everything, sorry, not the PLP, Pintard. Everything you see Pintard doing in his constituency, that's Fred them giving him money so he could look good. And they're telling them, don't just help FNM, help FNM and PLP, help everyone so you could look good. And they're giving him stuff so he could look good. Why? Because they have an end goal. And the end goal is, once they get in, see, they're not worried with the courts no more because now they have the pen.
Yep.
And they know Bahamians will not stand up against them. Bahamians won't fight because we saw.
Yep.
And we are deceived by politics. And so they know that once they get the pen in the hand of their puppet,
That's it.
who you think
That's
getting
it.
deported?
That's it.
You ain't see Brave them in deporting no one? When last y'all heard about deportation?
That's it now, mamas. When last? When last?
You bring it up, and that's you take the forward.
Somebody else say, I brought it up so you can see them go do one.
Yeah.
Two people in the next 2 weeks.
They are arresting illegal immigrants, but you're seeing them right back on the street. When you see them come out, the big officials is using that as an opportunity to get money from them. Come, bring this money, and we can let you out.
Yep.
And so all of them you're going to now, they got documents. They got their work permit because it was sold like
It
candies
was so.
illegally.
Mhm.
So the FNM and the PLP has the same agenda. With the FNM is going to be worse because now you have a puppet prime minister working along with
Fred Smith.
Fred Smith.
Mhm.
Y'all hold on, that's my child. Hello,
There you go.
hey baby, I'm live. You need to think for your computer. Eh? Okay, no problem. All right. All right, that's who I fighting for, so y'all gotta hold on.
We all fighting for.
Yeah. So all right, so they're gonna make it worse. And so we're here to fight for that. We're the only ones who are gonna stand up against what's going on. We can right this wrong, we can fix this. We can fix this. I promise you that. I'm gonna be the Minister of Immigration.
Wow.
All right? Me.
Take that.
That's gonna be my first portfolio.
Take that.
I'm gonna be the Minister of Immigration. And we can fix this. All right? Haiti was destroyed because of corruption. We can't let it happen to the Bahamas. All right? So there are people who say that we hate Haitians. I don't hate nobody.
No.
Let me remind y'all of this again. When the earthquake happened, in 2010, Hubert Ingham said we can't help Haiti because America is taking over the airport and they ain't letting nobody in. They said they turned away the leader of Barbados in the air. So the Bahamas will not be helping Haiti at all. I heard that, but I don't take no for an answer. And I decided to work with someone else, and we got a plane, and we filled it with supplies, medical supplies, food, etc. A plane full, the big plane, not the little small plane, the big plane. All right. So I think the size of the ATR that Bahamas Air used for the Family Island, like that size. So we got a big plane, and but I think it was a jet though.
Okay.
And we got that plane, and I called the U.S. Army and said, listen, I am coming to Haiti to bring this, and y'all need to let me land at the airport. It's like, okay, awesome, man. So we need all the help we can get.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, we need all the help we can get. Yeah, you could bring it. I was like, but my prime minister just said that y'all shut down the airport and y'all didn't let anyone in. Y'all turned away the Barbados prime minister in the air. And so he's like, no, man. Say, what we want is for everyone to come on a schedule.
Yeah.
So there's no flight tower. So we want you to come on a schedule. If you say you're coming 9:30, then we schedule the next person for 10 o'clock and the next person.
Yeah.
So we need a schedule, and that's it. And so I was like, that's it? Like, yeah. So we went in the air because the U.S. Army wasn't going to tell me no because I thought it was the right thing to do. And we went there, we went in the air, we landed, delivered the supplies, and they took it to the people, and we left. When I landed, ZNS was there saying, how come the prime minister couldn't do it, but you could do it? I was like, I don't know. That's the easiest thing I ever did. That was easy.
That was easy.
Because there was no rules.
No.
I didn't even have to have my passport with me. I just went, landed, and took back off.
Wow.
Would you do that for people you hate?
No.
Who could spend that kind of money on people they hate?
And time.
On time.
Money and time.
And time. And I lift boxes, by the way.
Oh yeah. Labor. You
Plenty
labor.
boxes. I break up my back.
You open boxes every
For people you hate?
It ain't make no sense.
No. I don't hate Haitians. I love all people. I hate corruption, and illegal immigration is wrong.
Yes.
Okay? And it hurts them also. It doesn't just hurt us. And that's what this campaign is all about. All right? So I want to get to the budget. So that's the update. And For people who had questions about that, you can call in afterwards when we open the lines, and then we could discuss whatever you want to discuss. But that's the update on that. And so we're going to right that wrong and fix that. And she's not the only person who went through that in that area. There were other men whose farms were taken over and they built shanty towns on it. All right. The former Minister of Immigration, Ellsworth Johnson, his brother um, has he had a crown land across the street from where they live on Cowpen Road, where Ellsworth and his brother lives, and he allowed one Haitian to go there and to farm the land, to be there to work the land. Then all kind of them started flooding in the place, and he started trying to get help from police and everybody else for years.
Nothing happened.
His brother was Minister of Immigration; he couldn't get no help
Wow.
for years. That's I don't even remember where he exposed the shantytown where they had a flea market on the side of the road. That was it. And they just took his whole place over. And there was nothing he could do. No matter how much connections his family had, nothing they could do. And so this has happened to a lot of people, and that cannot happen in our country. All right? We have to stand up for Bahamians. So, moving on. Jesus, the budget. The budget. Oh, the budget. The budget. Ladies and gentlemen, that whole speech, that budget speech was such foolishness. I can't believe. Maybe they just give up and they decide that they can just let it swing the other way. They hoping it swing to there for them, but stay in their hands. Maybe that's what they hoping for, you know. Maybe yeah, I think that's what they hoping for because election budget
Yep.
should actually give the people something.
Yep.
Sweet them up to make them say, boy, look at government, hey? Yeah, man, I voting for them.
Yeah.
They should swing you so hard with that election budget. That's what they normally do, is what I mean.
Yep.
That, Jesus. That was so non-climactic. Ladies, that's like when the fella been bragging to you about how good he is and what he could do in bed. Then when you get there with him, you're like, that's it?
That's it.
You suck your teeth. Like, listen, man, come drop me home. I lose my number. So for Philip Rabe Davis and the PLP, y'all come drop me home.
Yeah.
And lose my number.
Lose my number.
This ain't making no sense. That was the most non-climactic budget in the history of the world. And the problem is, you could have a non-climactic budget, you know. But when you try to paint it as something that it is not,
Yes.
that's when we have a problem.
Beating on that's like, okay, people who have no brain.
So let's touch on this budget, and we're going to present in the House of Assembly. We're going to present in the House of Assembly and break it down further. But man, I took some notes on a couple of things in there. All right. I'm joined by some of our supporters. We out here. Sitting next to me is the candidate for Pine Ridge, Mr. Daniel Mitchell. You can't see him yet, but now you're gonna get to it. You'll see them. And also our candidate for Marco City, Mr. Harold Roberts. And some other people sitting here, so all of them could talk to y'all at any time, right? But I just want to touch on a couple of stuff that was very interesting. First, the budget was called balance. Then it was called a surplus. 75 million.
Yeah.
Okay. A surplus of 75 million. We've already made fun of them and talk about how you can't have a surplus if you still owe everybody.
Right.
I mean, you didn't pay your bills yet. So of course you have a surplus. You didn't pay the vendors.
You're still in the red.
Yeah, you're in the rest. So you of course you still got money in your pocket because you still owe everybody.
Exactly.
All right. So, but this is not the thing. Everyone missed this. How you all missed this, man? They came back and said the budget is a projection because they realized we caught on.
Yeah.
So they came back and say, oh no, I guess they saying they misspoke, and this is a projection. That they project that the budget would be a surplus of 75 million. But how you all forget, just 1 year ago in their budget speech, they said that there was going to be a surplus. They presented a surplus budget last year. You all remember they presented a surplus budget last year? You all remember that, eh?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
Last year they said that not only did they have a balanced budget, but they will have a surplus of $448 million. They projected that they would have a budget. But this time they marketed it differently this time.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, the first
Put a different spin on
the
it.
first ever balanced
Balanced
budget."
budget.
And not only is it a balanced budget, but it is have a surplus
Surplus.
of $75 million.
Wow.
Now, last year, they swing us with the balanced budget talk, right? They just said it was going to be a budget with a surplus of $448 million.
Big, wow, 300 million plus. Yo.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And then someone said, the prime minister had a slip of the tongue.
So now this year, you giving us a smaller surplus. This the year you're supposed to give us the big number.
Yeah. That's the year already. Supposed to blow us out the water with this one.
But they tried to market it like a balanced
They
budget.
try to market it. Yep. Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Poor marketing.
That was disgraceful. All right? That didn't go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't the first balanced budget and surplus budget that the PLP has presented.
No.
The F&M also presented budgets like this before too. But they did that hoping that y'all don't have Google. That's what they did. They was hoping, they ain't gonna Google this. They could just believe what we say while we flam and flam and flam. While we urinate on them and call it rain.
Mm-hmm.
There's some golden rain, eh? You say, this is a gold rush. This is a golden rain. $448 million. A budget is just what you're projecting that you're going to spend. You could make your budget whatever you want.
Whatever.
You could say we could spend $1 trillion. That's just the budget. That doesn't mean anything. Stop letting these politicians swing you with numbers. I could say, okay, I go into the food store and I could spend $100. You can do that, right? But then when you get there, you realize you really needed $150. So you spend $150. So then you have a deficit of your budget. You understand? That's a budget deficit. But if you want to have a surplus, you could just say, you know what? I'm actually going to go to the food store and spend $100. And then you could spend $70 and say, look at us. We beat our budget by $30. But guess what? You didn't get a lot of the things you needed. Or you didn't pay off a lot of the people you're supposed to pay off. You understand it? Budget is just a budget. Don't let that fool you. Don't let them swing you, all right? But they promised $448 million. Just the last budget. Everyone didn't forget that. All right? Let me go deeper in my little notes. All right? So everyone is saying that they can't achieve this budget. It doesn't make sense because historically they've not been able to achieve their budgets. All right? It's just sad what we're seeing. All right? And they talked about the hidden obligations and creative accounting. We put this together. The government claims to have balanced the budget without sacrificing development or making deep cuts. In truth, they have kept spending high and may be relying on accounting maneuvers. Yes, they have. I did a whole live to show the accounting maneuvers they're doing, even with their investments. Recurring spending was increased by almost $300 million in the new budget compared to what was projected a year ago. Now $3.4545 billion versus $3.154 billion. Rather than tighten belts, the administration is still spending more. All right. And so if the government is spending more, how are they going to end up with less?
Yeah.
That's some voodoo math right there.
Wow.
They've been balling over the budget. So how they get up with a surplus?
That's correct.
All right. We also made note of their unpaid bills and arrears. Another factor masking reality is the buildup of government arrears to vendors. As one observer quipped, how can there be a surplus when the government owes vendors millions? In fact, at the mid-year point, um, the government disclosed 122.4 million in outstanding obligations, unpaid invoices for recurrent and capital spending and rent, still on the books. If the government has to settle these overdue bills, the effective surplus would vanish. Delaying payments to suppliers artificially improves the cash position. Simply put, a budget isn't truly balanced if you're not paying all your bills on time.
So,
So, how could you have a $75 million surplus if last year at the mid-year point you admitted, so it's double this now probably or more, you admitted to owing $122.4 million to your vendors and other persons. It's nonsense. It's
absolute,
voodoo maths.
absolute nonsense.
All right. They also, during the speech, made a claim that VAT revenue is up because people have more money to spend. I thought that was the most ridiculous.
Wow.
They say VAT revenue is up
Wow.
because people have more
More
money to
money to
spend.
spend.
Let's delve into that. All right. We just made some notes, and that's what I'm reading from. This are COI notes. The The Prime Minister's communication credits strong economic activity and increased consumer spending for the raise in VAT revenues. He stated that as Bahamians found themselves in a position to make more purchases, VAT receipts expanded. But about 50.8 million of the first in the first 9 months of fiscal year 24-25, the speech touts continued improvement in domestic demand and underlying strength of our economy as sustained robust VAT collections. In short, the government narrative is that VAT revenue climb because the economy is booming and people are better off. Now, this is the reality. I was reading what they said. This is reality. The surge in VAT revenue is largely engineered by policy changes. Specifically, the government expanded VAT to more items and removed exemptions, forcing people to pay more tax on everyday essentials. It's not just that Bahamians suddenly had more disposable income. Rather, the tax base got broader and inflation made prices higher. Here's the key points. VAT on bread basket items. VAT on bread basket items and basic food staples, which had previously been zero rated, meaning tax free, when VAT was cut from 12% to 10% in 2022, they at the same time eliminated most VAT exemptions, including the bread basket. Um, as Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alkitis said at the time, the 10% VAT rate will apply to most items that are now zero rated. That's their words. We're getting rid of all the zero rating and exemptions, exempt for some selected ones and electricity. This means everyday grocery items that used to carry no VAT now had 10% tax. That's stuff you use every day. All right? And they said it would directly boost government collections while raising grocery bills for consumers. They actually said that.
Wow.
All right? That's their words. They knew what was going to happen.
So they moving
And it became a
fast.
paralyzing burden on the poor. VAT on medicine. The government also applied VAT to medicine and medical services, insurance, etc., which had been tax-free before. They admitted this is now they admit this now by moving to relieve it in the new budget. They propose cutting VAT on these stuff down to 5%. All right, and so the bottom line here, there's some other stuff I could skip over. Tax policy drove the VAT uptick. The administration is taking credit for VAT revenues rising, attributing it to economic strength. But much of that increase came from taxing people more,
Yes.
not people spending more.
Yep.
Even the government's own data showed VAT receipts have soared since 10% flat rate was introduced with fewer exemptions. VAT revenues jumped by $210 million. That's 18.5%. All right? This jump occurred even with a lower headline VAT rate based on tax applied to far wider range of goods, services, and also because inflation pushed prices up.
Right.
Don't miss that piece.
Yep.
Inflation pushed prices up, so they're collecting more VAT. That's why they did nothing about inflation.
Yep.
That's why they did nothing to fight it like other countries were doing, because they were making more money from it. All right. So the narrative is misleading. It by omitting the role of its own tax policy changes, the government's budget communication paints an overly rosy picture. They imply VAT revenue rose as a sign of economic recovery. I'll leave that there. Listen, these are notes for a speech coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have um, if you have items that you don't pay any taxes on, and these are items you use every day. You don't buy clothes every day, do you?
Oh.
You don't buy a car every day.
Oh.
You don't buy plumbing every day.
Oh.
You eat every day,
Every day.
several times a day.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
They added VAT on things you use every day.
Every day. Correct.
So even though you could get a tax, you pay instead of 12%, you pay 10% when you buy a car. The amount of money you spend on food every year will far surpass that 2% you said. So obviously they made hundreds of millions more.
Yeah.
And they know that we won't calculate because, they feel that Bahamians are lazy minded. And that's what they continuously do to us. All right. And so we have notes, but they're taxing tricks and their accounting tricks, et cetera, et cetera. But I just wanted to put those stuff in there. And because I've gone so long, I want to get other persons in this conversation. So I'm going to be joined now by some of our Freeport candidates. Okay, hopefully y'all can lean towards me. All right. Well, we manly men. Don't mind we sitting close. Yeah, we no PLPs. All right. We no PLPs.
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah, we real men.
Yeah, Mr. Bain, that Freedom of Information Act is very important to know exactly if the numbers are right, what they are saying. But how will we know if they're not giving us the Freedom of Information Act?
They're not going to give you the Freedom of Information Act. That's never going to happen under this administration or under the FNM. I see the FNM talking about it now, but of course, they didn't bring it either.
Wow.
All right, so you're not going to have it. All right, so this budget is a farce. And especially if persons are reminded that last year they did the same thing. But this year they made it big news. They announced not just a balanced budget, they announced $448 million. Come on, man.
Wow.
Sweet lies. I just love it, man.
Wow.
Lie to me, Brave.
Wow.
Brave, just lie to us. We love it. Sweet lies, the kind you doubt but you want to believe. My Lord.
But I didn't hear anything in that budget relating to social service, persons who are mental, persons with disabilities. I didn't hear anything in there for those persons. You heard anything in the budget that relates to persons with disabilities and persons who are mentally challenged in our country, who are all over the streets of Grand Bahama, especially, who need the help? Did you hear anything in reference to that?
I didn't hear anything to improve healthcare, to deal with crime, to deal with immigration, to deal with electricity. I didn't hear them talk about anything. All right. There's nothing in that budget for the Bahamian people.
Nothing.
All right. They talk about this carbon credits, right? They talk about how much money you can make from carbon credits, right?
Yep.
They say the deal sealed. Did
Wow.
you see anything in that budget about the carbon credits?
Nothing.
So how you all sign the deal for carbon credits and we don't see that in there?
Boy.
Where the money gone?
Boy.
Oh, to a private company that has Anthony Ferguson name on it as the shareholder, and one of the girls who work in his office name as the shareholder. So that ain't gotta be in the budget, because that going to private people.
Wow.
Did they just steal our carbon credits? Is this budget proof that they? Now they say they didn't sign the deal. The Ryan initially say it was to be $900 million a year. I don't see no $900 million in the line item. Now it's billions, but I don't see no billions of dollars line item. Y'all see that?
Not one piece.
Not
You
one.
know what I don't see in that? I don't see anything for aragonite.
That's correct.
I don't see anything for limestone.
That's correct.
Now I know we drive past one area today where the crane is digging limestone.
Bahama Rock.
Now I don't see nothing about what we getting for that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looked like they only passing bills, passing policies to benefit themselves, nothing for the people.
They're gonna build any schools?
Not a piece.
Anybody know schools?
And that one in Homes Rock still ain't open yet.
Y'all don't lie on the government like that,
Nah,
man.
ain't open yet.
Man, I been there and I told Brave to go finish that school in Homes Rock. I showed all of y'all. And I ordered Brave and Kingsley to finish that school that was building for about 15 years.
Before you go, you need to pass there and see if it finished.
It isn't.
I mean, seeing is believing.
Y'all don't go ask me jump in the car, man.
No.
You mean all that big promise they had on the stage?
No, all that big promise. Still closed.
Don't forget now. Sweet life.
Sweet lies.
Sweet life.
Oh Lord. Our good prime minister don't lie, man.
You got them.
75 million and 75 million.
Sweetness
Wow.
is the truth.
All right. Now normally when I'm here in West End, I don't have cell signal on the regular line, but you can try. I'm going to open the phone line so all of us can be a part of this discussion. 803-5995, the regular numbers. You can call in. I see a lot of y'all on here today. 803-5995 is the number. You can call, WhatsApp call, or regular call. Now, I can't guarantee you that that's the number right here. I can't guarantee you that the regular call is going to come through. Someone tested and let's see. But the WhatsApp call is going to come through, so you can WhatsApp call. How do y'all feel about the budget? Oh Lord, I turned this on and they showing the F&M big rally. I mean, the F&M fair.
Wow.
Michael Pintard is going to do worse than Tommy Turnquest. Yeah, it has that same kind of vibe, but at least Tommy had some, little support.
Wow.
Yeah, at least Tommy was a, full Bahamian.
Wow.
Well, who gave them joke? Who gave them joke? Tommy is Bahamian.
You shady. You shady, man.
All right. So, yeah, you can talk. You can talk.
Yeah, concerning this budget, sir. Let's keep it more just to simple things. Okay, let's deal with food items, household items. Let's deal with those essential things where they were one time not on the um, satellite, but now these are items that are now taxed 10% because it's across the board. You see,
Mm-hmm.
these are the items that mom and pops and retirees, most of all, whose whose budget, or I won't use the word budget, in this, but their retirement accounts stay constant. When you get your retirement monies, it doesn't say it's going to increase 5% every year. It's not going to be adjusted by 4%
Mm-hmm.
every year. If you got, let's give a figure, $1,200, or let's raise it a little. Let's say $1,600, which a lot of them don't get, by the way. Okay, but let's just throw it out there. 10 years from here, that's going to be $1,600. But yet, and of course, because the creation of inflation by their strategy, by the government's strategy, which we just read, which creates inflation, those retirees, when they have to buy those household items, guess what happened? Like the lady told me in my constituency in Marco City. He said, Howard, it's getting to a point where I can't afford them anymore. And she's a retiree.
Wow.
He says, getting to a point where I can't afford them anymore.
Yep,
You
that's
see?
correct.
Let's go one step further. Now, let's deal with the aftermath. If she can't afford them anymore, she and her husband, by the way, two of them, say something catastrophic happens, like the husband gets sick, and they have to have these medical bills. That takes family to the streets now to go and do what those things are called when you go and cook outs. We're talking about a budget now for a nation. What, 3.5, 3.5 billion?
Mm-hmm.
This type of monies is budgeted for the Bahamian people into the
Hello, caller. It's
billions,
all the line one sec.
into the billions of dollars, where it's supposed to be helping
All right, just hold the
Bahamians,
line one sec.
where I disagree. Where it's supposed to be helping Bahamians, not making it hard on Bahamians.
Mm-hmm.
But the harshness of the mindset of the persons who are putting these policies in place with unnecessary taxes, with inflation, that's a serious combination.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm stepping different out.
All right, we
Because
got
I'm
a we
sure
got a we got a call on the line. A couple of them coming through the same time all of a sudden. We'll take this first caller. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
I'm going to be alive.
Yes, you are live.
Okay, that's fine. All I'm saying, Lincoln B, I'm 69 years old.
Yes.
I can say my name, Lily Mae Campbell, and it's been a long time of waiting from Contel to BTC. I'm just wondering when would they pay us our money. And I know I'm not, like you say, a Raganite, and we are worthy. We are wealthy. You know what I mean?
That's
Even
correct.
if we work for it, if they don't want to give it to us, and I'm going to say, Lincoln, it's going to be a whole lot on your shoulders, son.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And I'm telling you, I know what you've been dealing with. I've been following you for a long time. I voted for you then, and I can vote for you now. When you first came in, I voted for you.
Thank you.
Okay? And I can vote for you again. All I'm simply saying is I came from that era of Contel,
Marshall,
BTC.
need the info
Yeah,
for the lady with the blue.
yeah. Nobody want to touch it. Nobody want to touch it. In, out, in, out, in, out. All of them judges, in, out. I know why they can't do it. So they want to put in, I think, like somebody from America or UK to get concluded in the Bahamas. We don't say only God, because it's our case. So we got to be paid. So I don't know whether we'll be paid. From 1999, I retired 45. I was the youngest one. I thought I was the youngest one.
Mhm.
One was younger than me, 48. Anyway, I'm 45. I was 45 when I retired. And I'm going to say nothing other than Lincoln. If BTC or hotel and let me don't say what a name. The lawyer for the company, but we ain't pay him no money. So he still, because we ain't pay him, so you still gotta leave him out there. You understand? Leave it alone. Don't say nothing. Don't say, and tell people, don't say nothing. Because if I ain't say the last name. All I'm simply saying is this the government of the Bahamas is so corrupt. But guess what? They done rooted. Who going to jail? They're going. Okay? And I'm willing to be with a young and a new group with call, because if my grandson, children want to survive in this world, you know who could do it, Lincoln? You. You can do it. You can do it. I know that for a fact. Aram is my Aram. I vote for him. I want to be prime minister, but if he come with you, but that's fine. Guess what? I am for. I told Aram he got my vote.
Awesome.
Yeah. And over. He gave me a number just now. And that one OVR. It is going to be a new revelation. God is not going to allow ungodly.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, man.
Guess what? Yeah, I want you to laugh.
Thank you.
But that's fine. But I think that young people now gonna realize it is time for them to go back 100 years, and they talking the same time. But even if I'm going to right now, the same thing over and over and over.
Do you believe that Pintad is gonna work for you and not the few?
I love Pintad. Now Pintad to give me like 10. Must he give me like $100 when he see me take some children to go, because I for the children.
Yeah, that's Fred Smith money. Do you believe that Pintad is gonna look out for you and not the few?
No. I don't think Pintad is ready for it. Pintad is, to me, like he's just really caught up being like he want to be presidential. Sorry to say it like to be like precise, but he is caught up being. He want to be on top. I don't think he's ready to say. See, I don't know. I know Pintad from he comes from Pinters Point. I know him from down there, from Hawksville. I know Pintad. Okay, I will vote for Pintad before I learn about. I don't want nobody to mash him down either. But I can follow. Guess what I can follow? Aaron Lewis.
Wow.
I want Aaron Lewis to be the prime minister over him, and I told Aaron, I said, Aaron, you can be the next prime minister, but it didn't happen.
Right.
I don't have a problem with being a speaker. You understand? You know how God works.
You want him to be the Speaker of the House?
I want.
No, man. Aaron got to be in my cabinet. He can't be the Speaker of the House.
I know that.
He's a talented man whose talents was not used under the FNM.
I know that now. I understand it. I understand it now. He's not even if he want to speak, he really cannot.
But he can speak now.
I look now.
He couldn't speak on the Pintad.
Yes, he will. And I gone back after I realized when Aaron came out of the FNM. I said to myself, I watched all of your I gone back and I watched all it. You could go back to and see where you could go back and see where I was you. I was under your page for a long time. Coalition. I told you I voted for
Thank you.
the last. Yes, I
All
did.
right.
I don't know how they do how they pull it out. See, but right now here we know for them. I voted. The first time I voted FNM was for Walter Moore, Maurice Moore. Them, you know them?
Yes.
You know them?
Yes.
Walter Moore was my brother-in-law. Guess who voted for him? Only 3 voted yet. I vote. My sister didn't even vote him. That was his level.
Wow.
You understand? I'm telling you, I was dedicated that much.
Tell me this. They was giving out $10,000 and all kind of goodies and treats. Tell me, hold on.
Yes,
I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Why do you think Bahamians did not support the FNM's fair? The FNM fair they had in Nassau. Why do you think Bahamians shunned them? Because that fair used to be crowded back in the day. That used to be a big thing. Why people ain't come out?
Ain't no way in the world you give me $1 no more to say how you do. You cannot.
All right, this is curious.
Okay, and listen, I the only one in my house right now, right? It's the only one in my house. So they go after big people like these old people, where they can grab them with 10 or grab quick children, where they get them out, and they took the bag of grits or rice or whatever. But I'm gonna simply say, if children go to college and you send them off to college, they can vote for who they want to vote for.
Yeah.
It ain't no more. My mommy, I can tell you, I come from Camp Road. I come from Camp Road. Okay? The same.
All right. Well, I gotta go. You've been talking for almost 10 minutes. All right, I gotta take some other calls.
Thank you for listening. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. 803-5995 is the number. 803. So y'all call in now. Y'all don't just watch. Call in. So I just want to make an announcement that in Grand Bahama, well, she's from Freeport, but she's in Nassau. So for our Freeport people, Jonelle Humes needs blood. She needs blood, and so her family is asking you to give blood on her behalf to save her life. And her name is Jonelle Humes, and she needs persons to give blood. So if you're able to, I'll go there and assist. I think it's disgraceful that 50 years later, people are still dying because they need blood, and there's no blood in the hospital. I think they should do what they do in some other countries, and that is pay people for their blood. Because hospitals charge you for everything they give you, including blood. So if they could charge you for the blood, why should they want to get the blood free? That don't make no sense. All right? Pay the people. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's $50, $75, whatever it is. That one pint goes to 3 people. That can save 3 lives. All right? And that's 3 people who may be charged for that 1 point. That's 3 sets of money they can make off of that.
And it can help people who down.
All right? And so John Alice is in a situation where she needs 3 pints right now. So she's in a serious situation.
Princess Margaret.
So she's at Princess Margaret Hospital. So if you're able to, the gynae ward, please go and assist her. But we need new government so that we can change these things. All right? There's no way you should be making billions of dollars a year and can't build a hospital, man. It's shameful what Bahamians keep allowing in this country. I don't blame the politicians. Because if you vote for them and they don't build a hospital for you and you vote for them again, you ask for them. You don't want a hospital.
No, you don't.
You don't want a hospital. It's simple as that. Okay, the regular line is working. So we're going to take someone on the regular line. Good day, you're live.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Lynette.
Hi, Lynette.
I'm listening to the conversation today.
Yes.
And for years now, I've seen both parties. Now, and I think right now Lincoln Bain is the leader we should choose this year. I mean, next year. So far,
You're right.
he's
This
the
year,
only
this is fine.
representative of the Bahamian people. He's there letting us know everything that's going on in this country. I like for every Bahamian person right now to wake up and look and see what's going on right now in the Bahamas. The PLP really don't care about us. That party is about party. I mean, like party, which is partying, drinking, having fun, taking the money, using the money, traveling. And most Bahamians seem as if they don't care. You know, what we need to do, we need to look at the country, the future, and what's going to happen to our children. Right now, if you're poor, you can't even build a house. You can't even get a house. You know, and when you do try to get a house, the VAT and all those added fees. So if you don't have like $300,000 in cash or $100 and something thousand dollars in cash even before the loan, it's worth nothing.
Wow.
So, Lincoln Bain, I'd like for you to continue bringing all the questions and insights to the Bahamian public. And I hope that one day the grassroots, which Finland initially kept the Bahamian people at that level, will grow and will see that there's vision and a man that I feel as if God has put in place right now to run this country will be the person we elect. And I hope that right now, with everything that's going on, the Bahamian people will wake up and see that there could be a future for them if they only make that change and vote COI.
Thank you.
Like
Thank you. I appreciate it.
lawyers are concerned because I have an incident right now with Bank of Bahamas for years now concerning my money. It seems as if I can't even get a Bahamian lawyer to represent me in this case.
Wow.
The case, every lawyer comes, they said, okay, it looked like it's a good case.
Wow.
They could see it, why I can't get my money. But still, in the end, they're going to come back to me and say, well, Bank of Bahamas is their client. So right now, I'm looking for a lawyer to represent me. Like I put in the app, in the chat, I like someone to look at that and call me as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's sad.
And
And
Lincoln
I
Bay
thought
continue to do the good work. And like you said, I won't go on the march either. Because when you put the Labor Day march, which is supposed to be for laborers, Bahamian laborers, I see no reason why the PLP and Brave should want to celebrate his birthday and make it a poppy show march. You know, because every year or every election, most of the time from that time, the PLP has always used the labor to try to get the labor union and leaders to go on their side and to become candidates. He started from Bobby Clinton, David Knowles, Shane, you know, all those big time union leaders. And when they get in power, they did nothing for the workers.
Yep.
You know? So, like I said, you keep your head up, you keep your perspective together, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Next year, when we have election, we'll be under COI rule.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you. 803-5995 is the number. You can call regular line. Regular line, or you can call on WhatsApp. Call you live. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Bain. How you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
Sir. Mr. Bain, I want to ask you, if you have a wallet passport and you live in the U.S., can you get registered in the U.S.?
You have to come to the Bahamas to register. And you'll have to vote in the Bahamas. You'll have to come home to vote unless you are working or in school in the U.S. Working for government or in
Okay.
school?
Okay, thank you.
All right, my brother. All right. 803-5995. That's the number right there. 803-5995 is the number. Call in. What do you feel about that voodoo budget? Good afternoon, caller. You're live. Go ahead, caller. You're live. Caller, don't listen to your TV. Listen to me on the phone. Okay, we lost them. 803-5995 is the number. Yeah, that's a voodoo budget. That's a hocus pocus kind of budget. Yeah, they trying to cut off chicken head and do all kind of funny business, and sprinkle oil on the people, to try to fool us, to I anyway.
But I want to go back to healthcare a minute with the
Okay, we're back up and live. Sorry about that. Oh, look like more people on here now. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We got knocked off. But let's go straight back to the phone lines. Go ahead, call you live.
Hey, what do you say, Lincoln?
Right here, man.
They said they had a surplus in this budget.
Well, they also last budget they said the same thing, but it was 448 million last time. But they just didn't market it the way they are now.
So I got a quick question for them. If there's a surplus in the budget, in the United States, when you pay your
your tax, income tax. Well, here we don't have that. We have that. So we pay our VAT, and now we have a surplus. So I'm sure we can expect a VAT tax refund, eh? And
We
of course,
should.
I'm being cynical, but if you have extra money and it's our people's money, you should give it back to them if it's extra.
Yes.
And another question for them is how much of the VAT, which is our tax, went towards the loan, the principal of our loan, and how much went towards the interest?
Right.
I'm being told that we've only been servicing the interest and nothing has gone to the principal. Now, I want to know clarity on that, if that's true or not.
Yes, that is true. I had a live where I talked about all of the government's payments. Remember, I got our patriots at the central bank and the treasury gave me documents that showed exactly what the government had. That's the first time that had ever been revealed. You've never had that kind of access, and it showed exactly what they were paying on interest and exactly where the money was going. And so, yes, they were only paying interest. For the most part, they were only paying interest, and they were just extending loans.
Wow. Well, it's very sad because I recall the experts coming from New Zealand saying that we should have freedom of information before a new tax called that, and we should know where the VAT was going. And wasn't it supposed to go for the national debt, not to run a country and do other things?
Right.
Yeah, that's just what Perry Christie said to swing y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember it being said, and now I'm having people from both parties tell me that was never said, that it was to run the country. I said, no.
No.
The taxes
That was, they said it was to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the taxes and fees that we collect on other things like car license, duty, etc., that runs the country. So this was an additional tax to help pay off the debt. And if we have collected enough VAT to have paid the debt, then we should have no more VAT because the debt should be gone.
Yes, you're correct.
And so, where did that money gone? And, I keep laughing, but I'll wrap up with this. We have had almost 20 years of one party and 30 whatever years of the other party. So anything they wanted you to have, you'd have had it by now, because we look at the kings over in UAE.
Exactly.
So listen, man, that's like me and you, married, and I don't take you to Valentine's for 52 years, but then I say, this year I could do it if you vote for me again. You're serious? So you got potholes? They want you at that pothole. You got no hospital? They want you at no hospital. You got no airport, or your island is suffering? Wow. They want you at that. So don't come with I leave you all with this. I want everybody listening to ask one question to your candidate when they knock on your door. And I don't care what party they're with. What is your position on VAT on the Bahamian citizen? And if you come in with any of the other two parties, you have to say, is your party going to run on its record of 10% VAT and 12% VAT? And if they can't tell you that they're not going to do that to you, then you really should consider something other.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, good show.
Well, I just wanted to edit one thing that you said.
Okay.
And you said if you have potholes, they want you to have it. No. If you have potholes, you want you to have it. Because you keep voting for the people that give you potholes.
100%.
If you don't have a hospital, you don't want a hospital. Because you vote for the people who don't give you a hospital.
I
And
stand
so,
corrected, and that's 100% correct. You've been voting for what you got. And
Yeah.
believe me,
You got it.
You know what I said today to somebody, Lincoln? I said, you know what? From independence, we should not have opened one government school. We should have taken the best Bahamian school. Let's just say, the private school out east, right? And that's with the swimming pool and all the amenities. We should have expanded that school so that every citizen here had that high level of standard of education. But instead, we did two different things with education here, and that's going to come to haunt us. Anyway, y'all have a good day.
all right.
Yeah, man. Later.
Yeah, so Bahamians, you keep voting for it and then crying after you get it. So let's break this down. Call, I'll come to you in a sec on the WhatsApp line. What are you gonna get if you vote for the F&M? Let's break it down. You're gonna have a party that increases your taxes constantly, that creates new laws to restrict you every time.
Yep.
increases the fees that you have to pay,
Again.
make life more difficult to do business,
Again.
that look out for the oligarchs,
Again.
and only look out for the oligarchs,
Again.
and refuse to look out for the Bahamian people.
Again.
And so that's what you're gonna get if you go with the F&M. Now, what else you're gonna get? And that's based on track record.
That's right.
All right? You're not gonna get a hospital. You're not gonna have roads at work. You're not gonna get good education for your children. You're not gonna get crown land.
Nope.
You're not gonna benefit from your natural resources.
Nope.
You're not gonna benefit from your carbon credits.
No.
You're not gonna get anything but more stress. You won't get good electricity. Nothing is gonna work in this country if you vote for them. And what else are you going to get? You're going to get flooded with illegal immigrants because Fred Smith is going to be controlling the country if you vote for the F&M. All right? So it's that serious. All right? If you vote for the PLP, what are you going to get? All of those things. All of those things.
All the above.
Plus the criminals, the drug dealers, them kind of people could be running the town. All right? So let's go to the phone line. So I see all kind of people trying to get in. But let's go to this. I'm going to go to the WhatsApp caller first. Regular line caller. Wait 1 second. WhatsApp caller, you live. Go ahead, WhatsApp caller.
Yeah, how you doing? You can hear me, Lincoln?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Lincoln.
Hold the line caller. You're not on WhatsApp. Hold the line 1 sec.
I don't know if you saw a voice note that I sent over in the group concerning one of my cousins from Long Island. Let me say this: Davis them will do anything in the voodoo book, to win this election. The reason why I say that, a friend of mine, he's very much against the PLP and the FNM in Long Island.
Yeah.
And he said this gentleman came from Nassau to Long Island driving this truck with a PLP flag flying, and he stopped and asked me. He said, "Why you here flying this PLP flag in your truck?" And then they get to talking, and to make a long story short, he stopped my cousin and said, "Look here, come, let me show you something in my truck." And he put on this dashboard where there was a PLP flag,
right,
in the middle of some a ring of black and colorful beads. And he said, "Look here, you see that ring of beads there with the flag in the middle?" He said Davis gave that to him, the campaign bit.
Wow.
So what those beads represent is witchcraft and voodoo.
Mm.
And the next thing, if any Long Islanders on this phone,
Privatization?
you want your airports and your ambulance brand new. You want doctors and nurses on Long Island. Try put about 6,000 Haitians on Long Island, and everything that you need, you will get. But I'm a Long Island too. We know that we will not do that. That's the only way actually Long Island can get something like Abaco and Exuma, because Davis people are there.
Okay.
Because we can't get nothing, because we don't traffic these illegal immigrants on our land.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why Long Island can't get nothing for decades. Only with Ingram and
They don't want
he gave Long Island roads, light, water, and everything.
Mm.
Long Island don't
That's
play with
the
these
answer right there to our problem.
Thanks for your call, man.
But that ain't gonna happen, Lincoln, because we ain't gonna allow them to fluctuate our island.
Not Long Island.
All right.
You see?
Not Long
Thanks for your
Island.
call.
That's Long Island.
All right,
So,
brother.
All right.
Lincoln, you're all gonna have to do it.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Sister Pratt, Sister Pratt, yeah.
All right. Regular line caller, you live.
Hello, Mr. Bain.
Hi, how you doing?
And hello to your guests, your candidates. Listen, Prime Minister in waiting, listen, I hear the concerns of the Bahamian people, right?
Yes.
But I want the Bahamian people to know God got your back. He got you this time.
Wow.
Do not worry about the OBA. He has a plan for the OBA. He has a plan for the Haitian delegates that think they can get into our government. I always told you when he was on Steve McKinney show last, God has a plan. When you and I communicate all of your aspiration, all of your ideas that you want for the Bahamian people, you will see how it matches up with his plan. You have nothing to worry about. Just continue fighting for the Bahamian people. He's going to direct you on how to fix immigration. I'm saying that you want to be the minister. I will now be the director of immigration because he has a plan underneath your leadership. There's a lot of things that you are doing is so right in connection with what God has planned for his people. Don't worry about what you see happening on the surface. Nothing happens on the earth before it starts in the spiritual realm.
Amen.
Yeah.
God is going to say no to it. My brother, I want to reassure you, the last election, he told us in our ministry, he said, because the former prime minister was mistreating the Bahamian people, he told us, I'm going to sweep them out of parliament. And that's exactly what he did. He's not spoken on how we can do this evil empire. But by the way, when are we going to realize the PNP and the FNM was always one?
Yeah.
There's no two parties. There's always been one. Their job is to keep the Bahamian people down. But you're going to fix all of that.
Yes.
With the help of God, you're going to fix all of that.
Amen.
God's people, the Bahamian people are going to go and they're going to inherit the wealth that God has planned for them. Let's stop worrying about these foreigners. We can talk about it, but trust me, my brother, he has a plan and you're going to get the blueprint.
Amen.
You're on the right track and you're going to get the blueprint. And it's not going to be physical. There's going to be no physical interaction. God is going to deal with these people himself because he cannot trust the politicians. When Dorian came, he said, I asked all the leaders of the prime minister, I tried to send message to them and tell them what to do with Abaco. They will not do nothing with Abaco. When he saw the sacrifices and the foolishness that was going inside Abaco, he said, okay, I got this. And when God got it, nothing man can do about it. We need to stop when God dealing with the people, we need to stop feeling sorry for them. He went in there himself and he allowed Satan to destroy the place. He said, I would deal with this needless alone. I'd ask these men to deal with it. They will not deal it. If you know the atrocity that was going down in that place, human lives being burnt and sacrificed by these people, we having all of this soft, mushy, hard for. These people are, the bloodline of these people are not the bloodline like our Bahamians. But my brother, you all be encouraged. It's going to be well, you know. That's why I don't get rattled, I don't get excited, because God has a plan. That is my take. To you, my brother,
Powerful, my brother. I feel that. I received that.
God has a blueprint for this country to move forward and for the rightful Bahamian, organic Bahamian to get what is theirs. Don't worry about our natural resources. One thing you have to keep in mind, Mr. B. Mr. Prime Minister in waiting. We're going back after these people. No, they're riding up in the sunset. They have stolen from us. They've committed treason.
That is
we
correct.
Going back and get the people's stuff. We going back and taking the people's stuff. And they're going to be shamed. And if they have to go before court and get locked up, we're going to get the people's stuff back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well said, my brother. Oh, that's some passion. I feel that. I feel that one.
Yeah, I just want you to know that he is right. We're going to take back everything that the enemy stole from us. So every politician that think that what they did was undercover, we know what you did. We know what you've been doing.
We coming, brother.
The file's ready.
We coming.
All right? Every house you got and didn't declare, that's the people's house.
That's right. We coming, brothers. We coming.
You know, I'd like to ask those politicians what will accomplish, you know, to gain the whole world and to lose your one soul. All this wealth this country has, and they don't want the Bahamian people to benefit from it.
Yeah.
What will accomplish you to gain the whole world and lose your one soul?
I'll answer that. They sold their soul already.
Wow.
Come on,
Now
man.
that is true.
They sold their soul already.
It's unbelievable.
Let's go to phone lines. Welcome, caller. You're live.
Hey, hello, my brother. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Listen, to all of my brothers and my sisters here in the Commonwealth, I just want to say this. I've listened to the brother who just called a while ago, and I just took something out of my spirit. Remember this, my brother. Remember this. God says that He hears the prayer of the righteous. Now, God cannot lie. It's impossible for God to lie. Now, God says He hears the prayer of the righteous, and the prayer of the righteous availeth much. In the book of Proverbs 16, He said He does not hear the prayer of the wicked. He hears the prayer of the righteous. This country was given to us. We were placed here through the plan of God. We were not placed here where we are living by accident. The Bible is clear how we got here. Acts 17:26 tells us He made all men of one blood, and all men to dwell on all the face of the earth. And He has set the boundary and the habitation where we have to live. And He separates China from Russia, Russia from the United States, Bahamas from Haiti, Jamaica from Cuba. That was God's plan. And God put everything in the earth for us. But what has happened over the years? You see, all of us, when we were created, and we are of the generation of Adam, according to Genesis 5:1. So what has happened, my brothers? And the Bahamian people need to understand this. Where we are, God put the wealth in this nation for us. Nothing before its time, Mr. Bain. I believe this with all my heart, that this is the time, as I have said, that the CY is on the move and was raised up, you being the prince, which means the authority, which means the leader at this time of the COI, to take this country into the new Bahamas. What has happened, and I must say this, what has happened when we say the PLP and the FNM are the same? Let me tell you what makes them the same. The PLP and the FNM are the same, they just are the same as the UBP. What makes them the same, when the UBP was removed from power, the system was passed on to Lyndon Dillon. It was passed on to Perry Christie, Hubert Ingram, Lennox, and Barry Davis. It has not changed. The system of the UBP that makes all of the party that governed for 52 years in this country under the same umbrella of the system. Now, and because of that, that system is to control, continue to control, manipulate, and dominate the masses of the people. And so we look at the color, say the PLP and the FM, the color are different. But the system, all of them operate under the same system to control, not to empower the Bahamian economically. And so that is why God, I believe that God has raised up now the COI and you, Lincoln Bain, and all of the person that you surround yourself with, to break that system, to root up that system, and to establish a new system. That system, the only way we will defeat that system, it has to be destroyed at the root.
Yes.
And one of the things is this. So when we understand why we thought that we had a black man, when we put a black man in the office of authority, that he would have changed. No, a black man went in there, but he went in there and inherited a system that he never decided to change. And so that was passed on. I believe the COI, along with you, Mr. Bain, and others, as you've been opening the eyes of the Bahamian over the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, stand strong. Don't worry about the witchcraft. Witchcraft is always here. Okay? But God promised, and God cannot lie. He says He hears the prayer of the righteous. And we have a lot of righteous people, men and women in this country. And God cannot lie. And we are praying, what we are praying for, to break that system and to introduce a new system that will release the Bahamian people from that spirit that was over them, that to dominate them, manipulate them, and control them.
Thank you, man.
You have it, my brother, and let me say this. And the people need to understand it. But one thing before I go on, my brother, is this. When we talk about the surplus, now we understand surplus. You understand what I mean? It means something left over when requirement have been met and excess. Okay, how could you have a surplus, but yet you're still going to borrow $90 million? So we understand what you call it a voodoo, a rich budget. But the point is again, God raised you up at the right time, right place, to be in the position that you are right now for such a time as this. And all I can say to you, believe me, you have a lot of people praying for you. Righteous people and not religious people. But you got a whole lot of religious people. People like Delvin Fernandez are religious. He's a chief son of Satan. And let me say this. They will not prevail. They cannot prevail. Because God cannot lie. God says, He cares. The word here means He obey the prayer of the righteous. And what make us righteous? 2 Corinthians 5:21. I close with this. It says, He, Jesus Christ, who knew no sin, but He became sin for us. Why? So that we could become something else. The righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. And that's who we are as the righteousness of God. He hears our prayer. I believe that the CI will be the first third party to destroy the two major parties in this country. God bless you all and have a beautiful.
Just speak that.
Amen.
He put that. He put that.
Amen.
Yes.
And I want you to know that one of the first things we could do is we go into the casino. And I mean that. I don't gamble. I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't do nothing there's doing in the casino. But no one should be able to do anything in this country that a Bahamian can do.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Everything for foreigners in this country. But we're going to change that. The fact that we would sit down and allow a law to be in place that a Bahamian cannot do something that any foreigner can do. That shows the mindset. That law is in place to keep your mind down, to keep you down. It's not only to keep you from owning a casino, because that's what that's about,
Yes.
but it's to keep your mindset down. See, when you go to court, they set the judge higher than you,
Yep.
so your mindset can say that they are higher than me.
Yep.
All right? They make the judge force you to dress a certain way.
Yep.
Put your shirt in your pants like
Yep.
you're a child, because that's showing that you're submitting to them. All right? When the lawyers walk in court, remember that magistrate was just one of their colleagues, probably a couple of weeks ago. But to make the lawyers submit, they make them bow to the magistrate before they cross in that bar. All right? And so they do certain things to keep your mind down.
Keep you submissive.
They want to keep you suffering. Call I coming right now. They want to keep you suffering. Suffer. You know what suffer means? That means to keep you back or to keep you behind.
Right.
You know what suff means? That's what suff means. Suffix and prefix. Pre means before. Suffix means after.
Right.
Suff. All right? And so they want to keep you suffering by keeping you back.
And physically.
Let's go to phone lines. What's up, Carly? You live?
Good afternoon, Tayo.
I'm awesome, man.
All right. I don't know if you've answered this in the past, but successive governments have budgeted. Just take, for example, I know at one point they paid $90 million for the property that's just behind the Rand Memorial Hospital that they wanted to turn to the ward.
Mm-hmm.
When that deal doesn't go through, and that $90 million that was allocated for that project, what happens to it? And then the following year, they come with another budget for another 80 million, 100 million to do the same property or the same project, what happens with that money from the previous project? I mean, does it disappear? Does it go back in the treasury? Or does it go in somebody's pocket? What happens to it?
All right. So they use budgets to steal the money from the treasury. All right. And so what I mean by that is they issue contracts and they do things that they could benefit from, or they put it in their people's name, etc. And that's how they funnel money out of it. Now, just having a budget to do something, if it's not done yet, that don't mean that the money actually went towards it. All right. But if the money was allocated and this thing was supposed to go through, then that's a different story. And they'll hope that you're not watching and you're not paying attention. But I want you to understand that there will be massive audits in this country. Massive audits once the COI gets in. Everyone, every Bahamian is going to know everything about what they have done. We are going to expose it, and where persons need to go to jail, they will go to jail. Where persons' properties, etc., needs to be confiscated, they will be confiscated. It will go into the sovereign wealth fund, and all of us are going to make money and benefit from that. So if they have a big house in Life Key, that's going to be Airbnb now, and that money goes straight to the sovereign wealth fund. All right. So I think you got plenty Airbnb to get.
Because I am a resident of Grand Bahama. I know for at least probably the last 15, 20 years, there has been at least 3 contracts signed for a hospital.
Yes.
Or at least. And you never hear about it again.
Yeah, so in those instances, monies are sometimes stolen. So it's like the school that they can't finish billing. They've already given a contract to several persons, and they do that on other islands too, not just in Grand Bahama. They did that. But someone will come in, they get the contract, get the money, they'll never finish. And they don't care to finish because they just had to give some of the money to the politician.
Yep.
So because they had to give the money to the politician and they don't do the work, the politician can't complain because then that person can say, no, but you take my money. Now you want to talk about I need to finish billing. Why you take my money? And so that's how they hold each other hostage. And so the other government will come in and say, okay, keep that money you got from your people. We're going to give the contract to one of our people. And one of their people gives some of the money to a politician, and the cycle continues. That's why in Andres, you saw this happen in Grand Bahama, and it keeps happening. The post office deal, they got the building from Phil on Gladstone Road for the post office. Then they switched it, and they were doing a building the PLP paid for on Harrow Road, right next to that's where I think Sebastian now put a car company. They were billing there. So that man got monies. And then Minutes got in, and Minutes used it as a way to give money back to Brent for the money he donated and did the town center mall thing. So each of those things we paid for. And of course, when this kind of stuff happens, of course, taxes eventually going to rise because it's happening exponentially. And so it's the wastage. We got to change the PLP and FNM.
The problem is no one is held accountable. That's the main problem.
That's because the PLP and FNM are working together. They are doing this together. Even when you saw them lock up MPs, they only did that for show. All right? They went in there and they make sure they do something to screw the case so the person cannot lose. All right? And so that happened in those cases previously, and it's continuing to happen. That's only a show. And afterward, the MP gets money for taking the fall for the PLP and FNM. They're working together.
Yep.
And that's exactly why we need our Freedom of Information Act. So
yes.
When the COI wins, I hope it's implemented and it's done properly.
It will be. We are the Freedom of Information Act now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when we get in,
It's not operational.
we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen.
All right,
Thanks for your call, man. I appreciate it. And so, of course, we use our Sundays to give the people access to us. No other leader in this country does that. We open the phone line, so you have any questions, anything you don't understand, anything you want to challenge, we allow you to do it live in front of everyone. We see at the failed FNM fair, Pintard said he was sitting down in a chair and letting people talk to him. Of course, you're talking in secret, so no one could hear what you're saying. But we don't know what the point of that was. But we do this every single week. to allow persons, even if you have a problem with me, you can call in and you can expose me. You could talk to the whole world. If you don't believe something I'm saying, you could expose me. All right. I see the PLP trolls like to say, oh, Lincoln being oh this one and oh that one. If you know someone who owe me, tell them call the show. Who I owe, sorry. Tell them call the show and expose me, please. Please. Because what happened was I declared at the by-election that I owe nobody. I owe $0 to anybody. All right. And so that means I would have filed a false declaration.
Exactly.
And so that means they got me. And all they gotta do is expose that, and then I can't even run. So if I hold a line caller, we're coming to you right now. So if I owe somebody after making that declaration that I don't owe nobody, all right. I retired in my early 30s. And when I retired, I went and paid off all my bills. Any bank that I owed or anything at the time, I paid off everything. All right. As a young man, I decided I want to be an activist and I don't want to owe nobody. I don't want to have to answer to nobody. And I paid off everybody. And that was that. All right. And so, like I said, I made a declaration last time. So if the trolls know of anyone I owe money to, well, please let me know. I might forget. I owe you nothing. I might forget. It's slip. Yeah, so they so please expose it. So they keep repeating it because Fred Mitchell told them keep repeating it because then people could think it's true if they keep hearing it.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So yeah, go ahead.
You say something, right? It takes a free mind to free a mind.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Preach.
Preach, brother.
Yeah.
Preach.
You hear what you said, right?
That's powerful.
It takes
powerful.
freedom to free someone.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jesus was free.
That's true.
Moses was free. It takes a free mind to free a mind.
Preaching.
Wow.
You're preaching.
That's powerful.
Preaching.
What's that one preaching
Watch
behind the
it, boy,
camera
you.
now?
You need to come up
You
here,
know,
Watch it, boy.
They like, they like to talk about some court case that I had. Every businessman has court cases
That's like,
where I invested in a
Yes.
business. The business burned down,
yes.
and the person said I should pay them back
Yeah.
Personally. All right.
You lost more.
All right. I lost $800,000.
Exactly.
The person invested $40,000 in what they did, and they lost it. And they said I got to pay them back personally. And of course, the judge at the time said they believed them, and they signed with them. So be it. That's just a part of doing business. what was kind of shady. What was kind of shady was how in the judgment you saw them say that there was an old woman, and that's what the PLP trolls like to say. The woman was 35. All right, she was a little older than me, but she was 35 years old. That's an old woman.
No.
She was 35 years old, a young woman. All right, so they are trying to spread propaganda. All right, but I know one thing. I don't care what they say or what they do. And if I lose the case, all right, because it's hard to get a case thrown out when the first judge said they just believe the facts, because the other persons can't see the facts and they don't reverse it unless they there's something strange, some technicality. It doesn't matter. If that is the case, then I just pay and I move on. Hold the line, caller. You're the second caller. We'll get back to you. Hold the line. And so it's simple as that. All right. So if you know of anyone I owe, just tell them, call into the show and tell the whole world Lincoln owe this and that. Or you'll go to the police and say Lincoln filed a false declaration, a false sworn declaration. He really owe me, and there's the proof that he owe me. And so let's lock him up. All right? No more talks. Let's deal with facts. All right? So I'm going to go to the first caller, the WhatsApp caller. Caller, WhatsApp caller, you're live. Greetings.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Very well.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I owe you no money.
All right. Greetings.
I owe you any money?
Bahamians, how y'all doing?
You can't even hear me. I say if I owe you any money.
Mr. Robert, and now I
How you
guess
doing?
I'm gonna call you a Bahamian Mr. Bean, a Grand Bahamian Mr. Bean.
You're a Grand Bahamian?
Of course I'm a Grand Bahamian.
Are you hear that? And you're here when I ask you if I owe you any money. I owe you any money?
I know, but I ain't doing none of the talk.
Yeah, no, you in the straight talk.
I into them distractors. I don't pay much attention, but I wanted to say Greetings to my Mr. Mitchell, who's I've been watching from afar.
Awesome.
And greeting on his show. I've been watching. Greeting to Mr. Roberts.
Thank you
You know,
kindly.
I mean, Mr. Roberts. I know Mr. Roberts as a talker, but I think Mr. Bain, you will talk to Mr. Roberts. All right, greetings, and I love you guys, and I love what y'all doing. But I had two things I wanted to say because I like to get right to the point now. Well, first, I'd like to hear Mr. Iron Lewis tell us in his words one day, because you told us, Mr. Bain, in your words, why you think Michael Pintard shouldn't be the next MP of the Bahamas, okay? I put those in those initials because I don't want to say it. But I want Mr. Iron Lewis to tell us because, he have the ins and what's happening and why. And tell us the truth because, we need to know. The other thing I wanted to mention is because I think it was when Sorry, I can't hear you, so I'm going to keep talking. When Mr. Minnis was the Prime Minister, I did a research on the deficit. And then the deficit was 13 billion. So I just want a correction, and I'm going to come off because I want to hear what you have to say. Is the deficit still 13 billion? And did they say we have a surplus? And if we have a surplus, which means I guess we have plenty of money to build one hospital or two in Grand Bahama. Because I just want that understood because I came on Facebook and I blasted them and I thought he said the projected budget is 13 billion. So please
Let me
correct me. So I can
Yes.
go back and correct myself and then I go blast somebody else.
All right, thank you, man. I'm definitely gonna allow Iron Lewis to say why Pindar shouldn't be the leader of this country. I'm definitely gonna give him a chance to do that. I still want Pintard to answer about where he was born. I'll be honest with you, and I have a right to know as a Bahamian. All right, we're paying him. I want to know where he was born. If he was born in the Bahamas, I want him to present his birth certificate and his documents from PMH to show that he was born here. That's what I want. All right. So if you all don't want that, I want to know because I am ready for a full-blooded Bahamian who only has interest in the Bahamas to run this country. Let me show you why that's important. Let's say Harold, you for some reason move to the US. Let's say you work into a company and a Bahamian young person comes in there. Let's say you work to a college. The Bahamian young person come in there and they have to come in front of you for something. You can say, "Well, you saw Bahamian, you was Bahamian?" And they can say, "Yeah." And you say, "Come on, man, let me get you straight, man. Let me look out for you, man. Because that in my blood."
Right.
Let's say you are Bahamian descent.
Right.
All right. And you were born in America, but you're Bahamian descent. And someone coming there with a Bahamian voice, they say, "Oh, you from the Bahamas? Oh, my parents from the Bahamas." Okay, let me look out for you. Let me make sure you get straight. So when you have prime ministers who are of some other descent, maybe that's why they always looked out for foreigners and not Bahamians. Maybe that's why it was never important
Preach.
to be a Bahamian in this
Yes.
country. Right. Maybe that's why foreigners always had the interest because you had persons who were not Bahamians who were running this country. And maybe that's a problem. All right. And we have to think about that.
Right.
All right. And that's why in America, they say if you want to be president, you got to be a born American. All right. And born in America. You can be American now, but if you was born outside America, you have to be a born American, born in America. All right? And so in Haiti, they say you have to be a Haitian of origin and own land in Haiti. Born in Haiti, Haitian of origin, all right, meaning an organic Haitian, and own land. And in some instances, own business. So you have an interest in the country running properly. So these countries have that in their law, ingrained in their constitution. But they don't call them xenophobic.
No.
I want a Bahamian. And if it don't need to be me, then so be it. But I want a Bahamian, true-blooded Bahamian who love this country to run this country. To give it to Bahamians, to look out for Bahamians. That's why the Arab countries, they always look out for the Arabs because that's their people.
Always looking for them. They is looking for the people.
They looking out for, they trying to find ways to make them rich.
Yes.
While our people, we've been so brainwashed that being Bahamian is bad.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't deserve to have no money. You can't give no money to Bahamians.
No.
What are you giving them money for? No,
They ain't
no,
gonna
no.
wait. They can be lazy.
No.
Yeah,
Spend
okay,
that
food.
on the debt.
Yeah.
Spend it on the debt.
Mindset.
And build some road and stuff. But don't give it to the Bahamian
Who gonna wait?
because they brainwashed us that Bahamian is bad. I believe that being Bahamian is good.
Very great.
And I am going to put Bahamians first in this country. And so to her question about the deficit, it's not a deficit, it's debt. The debt is 13 billion. All right, not the deficit. A deficit just means you have a budget, but you didn't have enough money to do that. And so the amount of money in between there that you didn't have is your deficit. All right. So that's really what a deficit is. I don't know what that covered that question.
Yeah.
I think it covered your question. If it didn't, you could call back. Yeah. I will take this other caller. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
How you doing, sir?
I am awesome, man.
Okay, cool. Man, sitting here listening to you covered every base I was going to address.
Wow, awesome.
But I'll tell you something. There are two things you may not know about me is that I'm from Freeport. I grew up in Freeport, Grand Bahama. I went there in 1973. When they dropped the flag, I went over there. And I stayed there until 2013.
Wow.
73.
Like 40 years, man. Like moved as I felt.
Wow.
And I came back and I never used to focus on what's going on. But I keep hearing the same topics. Sorry? Am I fading out or something?
No, you're there. Go ahead. We can hear you clearly.
I was always focusing on these things, and here we are. We're down to, we're down to Shandik Miller. Last couple of steps.
Wow.
You know what I mean? This is a race we're in.
Yeah.
And the Bahamas, the organic meaning, because, people they're afraid to say that these days. But it's organic, Now, we're down to the last run. And, despite my old age, I am with the CUI.
Wow, thank you.
A young people's party, because, let me tell you something.
Caller, we lost you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Graham Rutherford said he spoke to somebody, he said today. He and I spoke yesterday of what he was talking about. He was talking about this guy. Listen, let me tell you something. Before he came over, I am never offset with what's happening in our country. And every time I speak to my girlfriend, she's always like, listen, I don't need to hear that today. I got a headache. My blood pressure high. I got to respect that, right? I really got to respect the blood pressure, right? And Graham Rutherford walking right on the side of me, and he's listening right now. And we had an hour conversation about the directions of the Bahamas. My girlfriend started giggling and laughing because everything he was saying is what I always say.
Wow.
The place needs to change. I'm telling my girlfriend this, listen. And when we left there, she loved everything Graham said, right? But in the car, you know what she said to me?
What?
I'll vote for him, but I won't vote for Lincoln. I said, I said, come on, woman. You cannot deny the future of a country because you're like or dislike for one man in certain areas, like you talked about just now. Everybody accusing you of this $25,000 from this woman. You can't let the whole country go because of this suspect. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I'm working on it. Trust me on this one. Let me tell you this. First time I ever been voting in my life, but I don't care who you put in my area. They're getting my vote.
Yeah, man.
I am from Freeport, sir. I am from Prince William.
Wow.
And the same thing.
So he don't care. You keep putting this.
When
Go
they
ahead.
started, what do you call that word? Using discrimination in high school. Government hires this. SAC is this. Finance is this. Then all of a sudden we get to a point we have classism. We don't even understand because I didn't go to SAC. I'm not the smartest guy in the class. Because I didn't go to government high, which is a piece of crap right now. The blue and white. You know the blue and white?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Haitian school now. I went to Prince William, man. And my parents, man, I was so proud to be there in my grade.
Wow. You're
I
breaking up
lived in
again.
the Freeport. I survived. I can leave it right here. I survived Freeport for 36 years, from 1973 to 2013. And I birthed everyone in Freeport. Because they are my kids, they're my grandchildren. And let me tell you something, I'm going to leave you right here right now. Freeport, Grand Bahama, or Tuma, Freeport, Grand Bahama is going to change this whole country. I've seen it in my 70 years.
You see, man.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your call, man. I appreciate it.
Freeport, buddy.
Yeah, man. Freeport is the key to the new Bahamas. It has so much potential. Person want to say something?
You wanted to say something live, Bubbles? You wanted to say something live? You're on the live now. You want to talk to the Bahamas? Talk quick. All right, you live. Go ahead.
Listen, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the little rain that the good Lord has sent down.
Yes, sir.
Loved
Yeah.
it.
Yes, sir.
This land. I thank God for that. I thank God for the CDR, the work that they're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a change, ladies and gentlemen. But we got to do it. We got Lincoln being on board. We got Daniel. We got Doctor. We got the whole crew. We're going to make it happen. But you just got to be ready.
Yep.
We don't need jokers. We need strong, bold soldiers on
Yep.
the line. And we need you all to stay on the fiery line. That's
All
the
right.
Bahamas. That's all I have to say.
Thanks for your call, man. We appreciate it.
All right, I'll call you later.
Someone said to me one day, we need some more well-known candidates, like name brand candidates. Someone said that to me one day.
Foolishness.
Let me help you understand something. We have very qualified, educated and qualified candidates. And the problem with the names that you used to is that they connected to the same people who are the problem.
Exactly.
And a lot of these people that you would respect if they were to
That's why they
run,
go after that.
they're not willing to take any risk. They're not willing to risk their business or risk their job or risk not being able to pay their mortgage. They don't have the courage to deal with standing up for the country. And there are many people who say they want to run, but man, if I run, I can lose this contract. If I run, they can attack my business.
Yes, sir.
And so many people don't have the courage. So we have to go with who comes.
That's it.
And I applaud every Bahamian who's decided to come on board and stand up.
Yes.
We need regular Bahamians to take over. You know when that happened before? That happened in 1967. That was a bunch of people who were non-name brand people. We know them today, but think back. They were not known. They had no experience. People in them never run a business, never did anything. They were saying that they were not qualified for anything.
Yes,
These
yes,
were
sir.
teachers and taxi drivers
Yes,
and
sir.
musicians, regular people who were unknown for the most part. And they had to come forward to bring the change because other people were afraid to go against the UBP. They were afraid they would be victimized and destroyed. And so they had to go with who come. So yes, a musician got in there. Yes, some teachers and plumbers and other
Taxi
people,
drivers,
taxi drivers got in there. But they were the people willing to come. And so I don't want persons connected to the oligarchs. I don't want persons who are going to sell out
You want real
to the
people.
highest bill. I want real Bahamians
Yes.
who realize that the country isn't working, they
Yes.
are qualified,
Yes.
and they're ready to get this done. All right? I can go through our list of candidates again, and the problem the FNM is having is that you all realize it's June 1st?
June 1st.
You'll realize they said by the end of last year they would announce their candidates. Then it moved to May 1st. Now it was May 31st.
31st?
Now we in June. So this man can't even launch candidates and he will run country. We launched candidates from September 16th last year.
Think about it.
All right? You can't launch candidates. He could at least say, okay, let's just launch the first set. Me, Dwayne Sands, Shannon on Cartwright, Adrian White, the people in the House of Assembly. We are launching our first 4 candidates. Y'all come to Big F&M rally. We can launch our candidates. You can't even. Do you know what this says? Pintard doesn't feel that he is qualified to run because he can't pass the vetting. You can't even recommend yourself. Not even you. Let's go to the phone lines.
That's powerful.
Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello, Jillian Bartlett calling back again. No, I think you didn't quite understand what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I meant, I think when Minnis was the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, I did research because I used to do a lot of live feeds and talk about our deficit. And back then, which would be 4 years ago, 4 years ago, give or take, 3 years ago,
Yes.
Country deficit was 13 billion. I think around the time it was 13 billion because my group said, oh, no, you got to do research. You got to go find out what the deficit is and see where all this money going and why this is happening to our country and what's going on with, all this money they allocate for this department, that department. Back then it was 13 billion. My question was, I heard the Prime Minister speaking about the deficit, and he was just going on and on and on and saying they are going to have a projection of a 13 billion for something. And I go like, what is he talking about? What projection? When the deficit back then, a couple of years ago, was 13 billion.
Yes.
The deficit. That's what I researched.
No,
But
you can't have a deficit of 13 billion if the budget is 3 billion. So no, I think
back then, way back then.
no. Back then, that means the debt was 13 billion. So I think it's confusing the deficit with the debt.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get unconfused. I'm trying to figure out.
Right, that's why I'm trying to explain to you what the deficit is. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you because I can turn it down so there's no feedback. I have to come off the phone.
Okay. All right, no problem. Thank you. Yeah, so I was trying to explain to her that a lot of times they use these words so interchangeably that they misunderstand deficit and debt. And so if they say 13 billion, they're talking about the debt, what the country owes. All right. And most of that debt is going to be in bonds, et cetera, that they issue. So that's the government borrowing from the people. All right. Or from foreign entities, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, et cetera. When the government need money, they offer bonds and they say we're going to pay back this amount in 3 years or this amount in 1 year. So it's secure because it's the government. And so a lot of wealthy investors, they don't put money in banks because that you're not going to get nothing for it. So they invest in these kinds of bonds. And so you will look at different countries and say, okay, I want to buy U.S. bonds. I want to buy British bonds or Dubai bonds, etc. And you use that to keep your money multiplying. Why? Because of inflation, your money decreases. All right, in value every year because inflation is a part of the capitalist system. All right, the cost of everything will continue to go up, up, up. One, so you could never catch up as a poor person, or it'll be extremely difficult. And two, because it's based on profit. So of course, in the capitalist system, what the person makes in profit is what the thing is worth, and so it's going to constantly go up and up and up for it to be to make sense. All right. I hope I made that make sense for you. All right. Now, someone made a comment on here. I highlighted the comment here. Someone said, of course, it's a troll, and they're paid to do these kinds of things. All right. And so they made a couple comments on that. So I wanted to address them, all right, because they are Bahamian and I need to address them, even though they're most likely a troll, all right. Um, he says that I'm using the Bahamian people for power. No, my brother. What I want to do is empower the Bahamian people, all right. And so that's what I want to do. I don't need to be doing this. I could mind my own business and not have businesses that have been attacked. Not having myself personally attacked, lied on every single day. I have to wake up, go in WhatsApp groups and see people making up stories about me and just suck it up. All right? Because I believe in free speech and democracy. I don't have to be doing this. I could be enjoying my children. I retired young, voluntarily. I could have been enjoying my life. I could have. But I chose to fight for the Bahamian people. All right? And so that's what I'm doing. So I want to empower the Bahamian people. Now, Brave Davis is fighting for power. Pintard is fighting for power. Chester Cooper wants power. I want to empower the people. And
Big
that's
difference.
why I am fighting for them. It doesn't empower me or benefit me to be sleeping on a jail cell, on a pissy floor
Thank you.
for more than my 48 hours.
Thank you.
That don't empower me. I get nothing from that. Nothing. And so I just wanted you to understand that. There's nothing for me to benefit from this. It's only for the Bahamian people to benefit from this. I lose from this. Every time I fight a battle for the Bahamian people, I lose. I get attacked personally. But you know what I do? I never talk about my personal attacks. I never fight for myself. You have never seen me fighting for myself, ever. No matter what they do or say, I let them do it. And God elevates me more. You've never seen me fighting for Lincoln Bean. It's always someone else
I got a
or
question.
other people. Go ahead.
Speaking of ever and never, you all ever see Brave as opposition get locked up for the people? Ever get dragged on the streets? When he's opposition, he was talking about the minutes or whatever. You all ever see him get locked up? You all ever see Pintard or anybody get locked up for the people?
No, never. No.
They come with these little fake little protests, like they fighting for the people, but then these things are staged. You all see Lincoln getting dragged, pushed around. You all see Charlotte, the whole group getting locked up. Lincoln them still gotta go sign in as of today.
I had to sign into the police station
Yesterday, exactly.
Still on bail for the
This will
Bahamian
get me
people.
upset when people come.
Signing too.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Everybody.
The COI's got to sign in. We got COI members still signing in for some Trump up charge when we fighting for the people.
Wow.
Rare them sitting there faking this funk inside the House Assembly like they angry with each other. They faking. Come on, Bahamians, man. Y'all watching a movie. Get your popcorn ready because y'all can see a show in the COI. Trust me.
All right. So another comment that same person made is Lincoln no Bahamians hate Haitians, so he's using that for power. My brother, Bahamians don't hate Haitians.
Nobody hate Haitian. I got good Haitian friends.
Bahamians have, all of us have Haitian friends.
Everyone in here got a good Haitian friend.
All right. All of us been to school with Haitians.
All of
All of us
everyone.
grew up with them.
Got their numbers.
Haitians have come here and gotten free education,
Thank you
free
very much.
healthcare. They've grown amongst us. Every birthday party we have, some people of Haitian descent is there.
Thank you.
Bahamians don't hate like that. Now, we make sport of each other. We make sport of Bahamians.
Right.
And so some Bahamians make sport of Haitians. They do. All right. But they also make sport of each other. All right. And so that's just the way it is. Now, there will be envy when people come into your country and start having benefits that you don't have, are able to do things that you can't do. All right. That's not someone hating on you.
Exactly.
You should have a right.
Right.
If the daddy of the house letting some stranger child come in the house and they could do stuff that you can, they could play with the toys, but I can't touch the toys. All right, they could be in the front room, but I must go in the room.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's how they treat us. Of course, that child of that house is going to start to get resentful. All right, and so over the years, there are Haitians who are picked on, etc., etc. And of course, that's wrong to pick on anybody, but it's Bahamians who are picked on. We are being picked on in our own country. We don't have a right in our own country. They putting foreigners over us.
Right.
They're giving the contracts to foreigners. All right, man. They're doing everything to benefit everybody else and not us. All right. So I know one thing. I don't hate Haitians. I don't hate Jamaicans. I don't hate Chinese. I don't hate Americans. But I love my Bahamas and my Bahamian people.
Right. As
All right?
you should.
And so I stood up for the Haitians when the earthquake happened.
Yep.
And I put my money where my mouth is.
Yep.
How much money did Brave put up?
Blood, sweat.
How much money
Exactly.
Brave put up? How much money Pintard put up? When his Haitian people, because I'm hearing his mother was actually a Haitian lady, and Miss Benson adopted him.
Exactly.
All right?
That's what I hear too.
All right? So Pintard need to explain if his mother was a Haitian lady's biological mother, all right, who died, and Miss Benson adopted him. All right? And I know people who went to school with him. Some of them campaigning with us. Pintard. And they know your mother when she was on a sick bed. All right? They know her when she was on a sick bed. And that you were adopted by Miss Benson. We just need to know. We just need to deny it. If you ignore it, it means it's true. All right? And we ain't on that run.
Pintard accompanied Brave to the Haitian church in Africa, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there.
And they didn't need no translator. They pretty much understand what the Haitian was saying. Yeah.
There's another comment this person put in. I am addressing this. I don't really respond to trolls, as you all know, but these are important points that people need to hear and answer to.
Yeah.
Says, do y'all know what them white people are doing in this country? Do you realize that I did documentaries to show what the white people have done?
Yeah.
Do you know that I did documentaries to show how our natural resources are being raped? What has Pintard done? What has Brave done?
What has he done?
I have fought them. Someone says, what have you done, Harry?
Yeah, Harry, what you done, Harry?
What you done?
Oh, this person named Harry Benson.
Yeah, what he do?
Oh, Benson.
Yeah.
Ça passe.
That's what Pintard adopted mother name.
Ça passe, Benson.
All right. So I understand what's going on here. But all right, what has Pintard done? Pintard has been a puppet and a slave for the Port Authority.
Woo!
All right? A puppet and a slave.
You got the money already, you walking to prove it.
All right? And so that's all he has done. I'll leave that
I
there.
want to say something. Harold Robert, who's a contractor,
Yes.
right? They are saying Bahamians are lazy.
Go ahead.
So you are not getting contracts because you're lazy or because those other persons' price are lower. What it is.
Well, here, if I may, in short,
Hold the
short
line,
is
caller.
the best
Hold
I
the
could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Persons like myself are not getting contracts because the word comes from the top and says when they find out my name is put in the pool to get a contract, it's already, in fact, I'm going to sign off on it at a particular residence. And I'm asked to show up a particular time, which I did. Upon showing up, it's like things change. The word was already given, not Harold Roberts. From the top.
The top.
So that
The very
means
top.
you're connected to some people where you're not getting.
Thank
the
you very
jobs.
much.
Exactly.
So
I'm connected
Bahamians
to
are
the
being
COI.
pushed out.
Yes.
Bahamians now are being pushed out.
Yes.
And some other people are being welcomed with all the jobs,
my
all the
God.
contracts.
And they
Yes,
use the excuse
yes,
to be
yes.
lazy.
Yes.
And
So
they are
we won't
saying
wait.
we are lazy, we don't want to wait.
Yeah.
When we are home,
That's the excuse.
we don't want to wait. But we're looking for jobs, but
To
they say
fulfill-
we don't want to wait. So we are home.
Yep.
That's the excuse
Looking
them
for weight.
not to answer the question. Why are you pushing out Bahamians? Why are you pushing out me who's qualified and
Right.
can
The
bring that,
shipyard going through this right
can
now.
bring that
Expatriates taking the
structure out
jobs.
of the ground? Why? You know, so their excuse is you're lazy.
That's it. Bahamians are lazy. But I want to say, I have another point.
Hold on, let's get the caller first,
Yeah, the
and then we
caller.
can do that. Which line they on? Okay, I think we lost them.
We lost them.
Okay, we lost them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have another point. You know, Bahamians aren't lazy.
No, they're not.
And we will not work for nothing.
Exactly.
We have a price. I'll draw an illustration. If I work on a car, to take out the engine and transmission, I might charge you maybe $700-800. The person who is not a Bahamian will charge maybe $200-300. But you're saying I don't want the job because I don't want to charge you less. But I know my work. I'm not gonna drop my price.
Your value. Exactly.
$300 for $700-800 job.
Hard labor.
Harold,
Allow me please to address that. Short notice too. The reason why that is done to take the market. That's what they do.
Yep.
They come in, you know the market for profit is $700-800. Say I'm the other guy who's coming in. I want to take it. It means just that amount, just for me to make a little something.
Right.
And what I do is I put him out of business.
Right.
And then I raise the price. That's what they do.
That was actually Amazon's strategy when they first started for the first 9 years. Hold the line, caller, you next. Hold the line one sec. Amazon intentionally reduced the price of everything to kill the market.
That's right.
They killed Circuit City, Toys R Us, and all those companies. And a lot of the book companies had to almost close down. And so they did that to kill the market. And then they increased their prices and they dominated the market.
Yep.
So you're right. That's the same thing that the illegals are doing, and it's a smart strategy. It's just that it's the Bahamian people who are making the dumb moves by not supporting their own Bahamians.
Yes.
Because when a Bahamian young man can't get a job, he's gonna pick up a gun, and so that couple dollars you save, that's gonna cost your life. Call your life. Go ahead.
What up, Lincoln?
All right, man.
Everything blessed?
Yeah, man.
More power to you and the resistance, you see?
Yeah, man.
Well, I was a Freeport-born naval string tie-in.
Yes.
You understand? Brian standing, 100% letter, Freeport, Grand Bahamian, right? And let me show you something. All that Pintar thing, that moving about and stuff like that, and he's a part of Parliament right now. We ain't even talking about future. We talking now.
Yes.
He's a part of that, right?
Yes.
So let me put 6 in the barrel and then shoot it off across so people
Yes,
can
sir.
understand where we coming from.
What's it?
You understand? Airport down. He's sitting down, right? He's standing. He's supposed to be standing up, right?
Yeah.
All right. You look at the Forbes charter and stuff with running in Freeport. The only set of men, we ain't even talking about the woman, the only set of men in Freeport would have jobs, it ain't Bahamians. You understand? It's Mexicans, Haitians, all other us nations. You understand? Who in Freeport right now, who getting up 6:30 in the morning, bus picking them up and carrying them out. You understand? That's another short cross the bow. Then he in Parliament, then he stand up for that. I never even hear him mention that. You understand what I'm trying to say? Healthcare. People even understand, even during the COVID straight up and now. Do you know when you go to the hospital, you were sitting outside?
Yes.
Did you ever even hear that mentioned?
No.
Ever. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, let's go down to West End. When things happen to OB, and they drop the whole full power of the Thanos, whatever you want to call it, that's the PLP, and the whole force came down here to Nassau to Baghdad.
Yeah.
Everybody's cheering when you spit ideas so they try to hold that down. So now let's just repeat what they were saying, what they was going to do. And the police station was supposed to be built, and the docks are supposed to be West End. Where you at? Because what I'm saying, them things they happen. They happen.
None of them happen.
Let's just
When break down.
So now let's just keep with that colorful life foolishness what they're running on with. And they did the same thing to this hotel here. Now, did anybody know when this hotel closed under the same color? You understand? When this hotel, the hotel in the Bazaar, plenty people don't know that closed under Perry Christie. We were suffering, and we were suffering from then. And see, Freeport, we don't know nothing about begging because we too prideful. People that say, man, we stick that ain't got nothing to do with Freeport people. We different, you understand? They ain't like us. You understand? And for you to stand up here, and I have a problem with Chester Cooper and that mouth, because see, that mouth tie into lies. It's like them two, when you see them two, they coincide with each other. Don't come here and try to give this fake feeling that everything is all right and David, you understand why I get with this, Lincoln?
Yeah.
You got aunties and uncles in Port Lakayum, and you might have two tourists would pass there would looking inside to go by. So see, Grand Bahamians know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
This ain't no feel good. Don't come here to try and make us feel good with no throne, no party. We don't listen, by Freeport do not get down like that. And Freeport, if you feeling me, where you is?
Yeah, we here, buddy.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't come here and try to drop it. Now let's get to this Haitian issue vibe. As a young 35 years old man, right? Let's talk about it. Since we spitting all of these hate around there, let's talk about it. If you say you get citizenship, Lincoln, follow my storyline. If you say you get citizenship, right? And our constitution say you must pledge your allegiance to who? Our flag. You understand? You gotta drop whatever you say you is, denounce and become one of us. So now since you want to drive me, you send a shot, I can send it back. What the hell is a Haitian Flag Day? If you say you drop your citizenship to become me, what is a Haitian? What it is you celebrating?
That's correct.
Do you understand? I try to make me understand what it is you celebrating. And then why, when I ask you, why, if we all as Bahamians, why we still saying Haitian? Why you still identifying as Haitian?
That's correct.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Lincoln, let me tell you some of these broadband games with these youths them playing. If you need somebody you don't need to bow down to that because, listen, we ain't stupid. My mother ain't spend no money to send me to school to say to come back to cut grass. I cut that if I have to. And guess what? If you look in the Constitution, they say, if I want to, that belongs to only me. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't come to me and see, let me tell you, I'm using the word treason. Brave Davis, he got to be dead careful of young people because I ain't even use the word annex. Be careful of young people because guess what? The elder ones, y'all don't come outside. The younger ones out there. And then we feel and we see and we know the screen what's going on. Poverty causes chaos. Chaos causes people them who walk around ain't thinking. You understand what I'm trying to say? And when you ain't thinking, what you can brandish something which you all protect. What cause the police have a job? What would cause police have a job? People who are on another side. You understand? People who are on another side. Take it from a young man who's in the ghetto. You understand? I have a brethren right now. Light off. Water off. You bringing me down to a country. You know, we don't know these type of things. And then, we know when we get an annex or the other man on the side of us, they don't sit with us. They don't break bread with us. They disrespect our land. They disrespect our women, our men, our way of life because they think they better. I have no love for the other side, and I don't care who hear it. I have no love for the other side, and people can call you. Why they calling you? You then take your stand. I can put my number. Call me and ask me, how do I feel? I'm standing up and watching a man you going to their party, you going to their function. You stand up and tell them, you're not Haitian, but you're of Haitian origin. My mother was tied to Nassau. Her mother was tied to Elutra. I could track her mother.
There you go.
You understand? And I never ever stand up when I buy a ticket and say, okay, I want to take a flight to Haiti. Not when I'm small and not definitely now. And let's YouTube one another. Put in the Bahamas and let's just see what they say with the Bahamas. And then type in Haiti and let's just see what's going on. Then you use our flag carrier. Not only to say you was going once, to say you going twice. And Lincoln, somewhere between you and the powers to be, you see the force with behind you, somewhere you all need to start addressing Louis George because somewhere in our Constitution, being said we don't supposed to be get tormented by others. You cannot stand there and tell what it is you advising to Brave Davis. What could you say when you then go on across broad and talk to me, talk about my wife, my children, my country, my countrymen like dogs, and then you come back in the country and say you're Bahamian? You understand? We need to start to address that.
And don't forget, Michael Pintard was working with Louis George and Fred Smith on lying on his country.
Listen, we pulled Michael Card long time ago. He's not a Grand Bahamian. Because like I said, you stand around and you watching. I don't know if you in Freeport, or I don't know if you bought by Freeport people, but I watching people coming out there. They getting their water pay, they getting their light pay, they getting their rent pay, plus they getting the Forbes bus picking them up every day. Michael Pintard's supposed to live here, but when he go Nassau, you trying to tell me now he acting all brand new, talking about Brave. We don't care what we can see what Brave David's doing. You understand? People feel what they don't understand. People feel what they don't understand. Because don't come here. As short as Brave Davis is, he's still missing the win. You feel what I said? You can come here on a microphone, you spit into the microphone to the youth. See you know what you're fighting for. Those who behind you, you're all old enough to school me. But for one thing, we ain't gonna tell you, your mom say, look here, you don't lie. You feel what I said? If you love me, why you gonna lie to me?
Yes.
But if you want to carry me to bed for one night, say that.
That's right.
But then don't come to me and tell me you love me, and then I see what you doing behind me, and then you can call that love.
Pintard, that's Pintard and Brave. That's it, sir.
Pintard was already out the house. He knocking on the door trying to get in. You don't even see what I said. Because there's a lot of fire, Lincoln. You could cock your gun 50 times over. Because Pintard stand right here and watch whatever Menace did to us. And Freeport suffered the most of that. So we didn't have the record. Peel back the record and how you could lie on your record. He can't stand up and come against you if you state the record. Do you understand him? And that little Quincy Thompson, when you call him, the only thing he want to ask you if you want ribs. Nigga, I don't want no ribs. Fix my ribs. That's all I said, man. And this is the last thing that I go. You have, let me tell you, and I say this when I start listening to you, and I feel where you coming from, and I understand. There's a lot of young people in the ghetto. You understand? And we don't speak with them much because you got this little war thing with going underground, which you all don't understand. And you all might be here and might not be here. But it coming because you could then feel the rumblings from the ground. Mm-hmm. You understand? And it coming. And I always tell people this, Lincoln. Our country was not born by blood. No. We was born by principles and law. Yeah. Their country was created by blood. There's two differences. Don't call me lazy if I run in by law. You understand? Mm-hmm. Lawlessness. And the one thing with bug us, when we sit down, when you go on in that city with the cockfight and things, there was not one behemoth what was representing that SHIT. Not one. But here's the thing what bugged me, and I could see why they going against you, boy, and you don't even notice. You was on live. Not one immigration, not one police, but they know where your area was. Yeah, came there to that, and nobody noticed that.
They there right now again, as we speak.
But Lincoln, what I'm saying is,
yeah, you're
so
right.
you fighting a battle from, listen, man, you only catch what I'm trying to say. You, okay, let me put it in a different way. If I go into somebody's house and I on live and I got a gun in my hand and I robbing the person, how long you think the Bahamas and the police force would have been there? They would have been there. You was in a place of crime. You might not have the gun. You might not have it. But what you see was you was in a crime area because people start to flee when you get there. But you ain't not, nobody would came there would get you back. So what it is, tell me again, what it is, what we telling the youths them, but we is a country of law. I want that to marinate with you and your crew. And remember, man, you ain't talking to balance and fair people. Stop. If somebody say, look here, Bahamians, they know Bahamians don't like Haitian. Let them state the facts why we don't. If I hear fighting on land, I got 30 years to pay for land before I can build a house. And you tell them state the facts, bro. You ain't got to say, well, I like Bahamians. If I don't like Bahamians, don't like Bahamians. I got to stand here and pretty that up. And Louis George, believe me, God, be my villain. I wish you could find me and put me in immigration. You would be the first one I come from. They can love you like our Haitians love coming to this country.
Get right. Well, that's a good one. Woo! My Lord, I've never felt love like that. That's some love. That's some love. My Lord. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Bain, it's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, I would know how much you love me. You got to top that.
Let me tell you, following my grand Bahamian brother, let me say this too. I'm from West End, born and raised.
Wow.
Naval Spring cut and buried in West End.
Nice.
And I want to say to my Bahamian people, especially my people in the West, now when there was the by-election, the promises, we couldn't hear it enough.
Yes.
The Prime Minister and every member of Parliament basically was living in Grand Bahama. during the by-election.
Yeah, all day, every
And
day.
I want to ask my Grand Bahamian people in the West, have they seen any of those MPs since the by-election?
Woo! Good question.
Our school in Holmes's Rock is still not open. Okay? We haven't seen a dock built in West End.
The police station.
There's been no changes, no police station, nothing. I cry for my people in the West, and I was born in Grand Bahama, and the capital city, West End, Grand Bahama. So I want to tell my Bahamian people, all over the country, you have all of these MPs come and vote for me. All of the trolls come and vote PRP, vote F&M. Yeah, you want me to vote for you, so your party, so you can get a contract.
Yeah.
What am I getting out of it? You just want my vote, so you could get it.
That's it.
But you've been getting it now for 50-something years. Have you ever asked me what I got other than giving you my vote?
Nothing.
So I want the Grand Bahamians and Bahamians in the whole country to look back and think, they want your vote, but how does that benefit you over 50-something years? But when you look to see how it benefits them, you could see they don't mean you no good.
Yeah.
All right?
Thank you, man.
I was, like I said, born in West, and we don't even have a decent hospital in Grand
No,
Bahama.
exactly.
And if Mr. Rand from the Rand Nature Center didn't build what we've got now, where would we be? I was born in a house.
Wow.
Back in the 60s. Because we ain't had no hospital. And if it wasn't for Mr. Rand, we probably still won't have a hospital in Grand Bahama. So I want my Grand Bahamian people to sit down and think about it. Let's get on board. There's only one choice. We gotta go COI.
Change is here.
And we want better.
Yes.
So I thank you guys. Keep up the good fight. I'm telling you, the people are with you.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This person asks, when he did the live with the lady and the Haitians, where was immigration? Well, I'll tell you, the lady before she called me, because she didn't know me to call me. I guess she knew of me, but she didn't know to call me. She went to immigration to get them out of the house because she realized it was illegal immigrants.
She said that.
So she went to immigration. And the immigration told her if she wants results, she got to call me. So immigration told her to call me.
You understand that? You listening?
So I thank those immigration persons for trying to assist her in that way. But of course, they know that there's corruption in this country and certain things don't get dealt with, and you go lock them people up, and then they pay someone off, and they right back on the street.
Their hands are tied.
All right,
Wow,
and so, but the immigration officers are doing a great job, and they're gonna be empowered when the COI gets it.
Government,
That is
yes,
a powerful organization. You hear me? The immigration officers, they could be empowered. Trust me. All right, so they could love it when the COI comes in power, and I could be right there standing in front of them. All right, so we are going to end this illegal immigration problem. All right, and I could be standing there with y'all, wholeheartedly. All right, so that ends that. Ladies and gentlemen, we done do over 3 hours today.
Wow.
We even feel that, man.
Wreck it.
And listen, man, I hang in here with my Freeport people, and listen, these women can cook so good.
Very fun.
These women can cook. So everyone eat except me because I was here running my mouth. And so y'all tell them women get my food ready. Get my food ready. I hope they bring some ice cream. All right, so y'all look quiet on that.
Yeah.
Tell them bring my food. I use some good cooks around here.
What are you cooking?
So tell them I'm ready. I've been sitting and jumping at the beats.
Yep.
I ain't eat from breakfast.
Oh.
And so this is where we are. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we are in this fight to win this. The PLP and FNM is desperate. We're going to bring the change that the people needs. Don't be bamboozled by these same fools. I just going to let these two guys beside me give their final words to their constituents. We'll start with you.
Pine Ridge,
Mr.
I have
Mitchell.
heard your cries, and I have come to stand in the gap and initiate in Pine Ridge to bring about real change for the residents of Pine Ridge. So, Pine Ridge, vote for real change. Vote Daniel Mitchell in the next coming general election, and you will see real change within the constituency of Pine Ridge.
Yes. Closing statement.
But there's one assurity that I can put on the table. I don't have to ask Marco City to vote for me. I tell you what, Marco City will vote for Aaron
Hold the
Roberts.
line, caller.
What we need to do, though, is be organized and get the job done. So, Marco City, when Mr. Bain called for you, step up. When I call for you, step up. We're going to take this game to the next level. This is us to lose. We have already won this.
Yep. We got it.
All right, so we need you to end Michael Pintard's career again.
Yes, sir.
End his career again. All right, let's take this last call. The person calling, I'll take them. Call you live. Go ahead.
Hello, Lincoln, I have a question now.
Go ahead.
The song that was signed by the Bahamas government to house X amount of X amount of immigrants because and deportations look like they've ceased. It seems like some deals have been struck during this administration or something went down for the government to, I say, hold or keep X amount of Haitian nationals.
No,
So does it seem
there was a deal that was made under the Brave Davis administration. They went to California, and the Biden administration made a deal for some of the countries around them to help accept these people, and they had meetings with them. So there was nothing to actually physically sign. That's why when I informed the people about it, because that was secret, they didn't say what went down. When I informed the public about it, Brave Davis responded and said he didn't sign. All right, but no one signed. That was not something that anyone had to sign. It was a kind of treaty agreement where we say, listen, we just need you all to do such and such, and then the persons from there, the administration started visiting the Bahamas, meeting with Keith Bell and others to get this thing done. And as you can see, there seemed to be orders that the defense force mustn't catch any more boats. The boats still coming in. They still coming. They landing in Lutra and other places. The boats are still coming in. But during this whole administration, the defense force wasn't catching no boats. All right. And so, sorry, can't take any more calls. This is the last caller. And so that's how that works. All right. But thanks for your call, man. All right, my brother. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go eat. Tell them bring me the ice cream first and then the food. Yeah, they can bring the ice cream first and then the meal. All right. All going to the same place. It don't matter which one you eat first.
Right.
You're going to the same place.
Yeah.
All right, just having some fun. On Wednesday, we're gonna be it should be Wednesday. We're gonna be speaking. I am Lewis. We're gonna speak on our behalf on this farce budget and where we really should be going in this country. So I want you all to tune in for that. Just be ready, and I want you all to tune in for that. All right. So stay tuned. That's all I can say. Just tune in for Wednesday in the House of Assembly. All right. Make sure you're there. All right. So God bless all of you. We love you. They're still harassing the Bahamians on the Crown land while not touching the illegals on the Crown land. But guess what? We can fight them to our last breath. All right, you ain't got to worry about that. We can fight them because this is our land. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boycott that parade that the PLP is trying to use as their parade. Please boycott that. And guess what? Bahamas, I love you, like how the Haitians love coming to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes.
In fact, I love you more than that. I love you more than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. I love you. And I see you next time. All right?
Yo.